The Mets and Diamondbacks getting set to do battle tonight. It's fireworks night. A big crowd is on hand. Matt Harvey is ready to pitch. And the Diamondbacks badly in need of a victory. They have lost 8 of their last 9 games. Harvey has just finished his warm-up pitches, come into the dugout. And this is going to be a rather lively gathering tonight here at Citi Field.
Isn't it lovely to see this at Citi Field?
You know, since the opening day, which is a day game, of course, it's so much different when you have a full crowd at the ballpark at a night game. It's just some tension here for a change. I love it.
Well, the electricity is in the air, and you know, Matt Harvey hasn't won a game at Citi Field since April. It's mostly not his doing, but you know, this is one of those nights that you can just feel that little extra. And as the starts have gone by for Harvey, and he's built up his stature as the best pitcher in baseball so far this season, the feeling before each game has only grown. Here's your Hyundai starting lineup for the Diamondbacks. Tony Campana, the former Chicago Cub, just called up today. This will be his Diamondbacks debut. He'll lead off. A day off for Goldschmidt, the first baseman for the Diamondbacks, who leads the National League in RBIs. An odd day for him to take a day off against Matt Harvey, a rare one.
You know, it's really hard to explain when you look at the Jaguar numbers with Matt Harvey. He's #1 in almost every single category. But try this one on for size. All the great pitchers, we never talk about clutch pitching. 2 outs, runners in scoring position. In his career so far, hitters have 6 hits and a .136 batting average.
And we'll take a look at the Lexus Metropolitan defense. Neuenhuis getting his 9th start out in center field. Young, of course, has really injected some spirit and speed at the top of the lineup in left. Bird in right, who's been phenomenal. Satin, what can you say about him? He's been phenomenal. Murph, Quintanilla right, and Buck behind the plate.
Neither pitcher warmed up before the rain delay. They decided about 6:45 before the pitchers began to warm up that because of the bad weather coming through, and it did rain rather hard for a while, that they would push back the start. But still, Matt and Randall Delgado have had to sit for a couple of hours, get ready for their start. And both of you guys talked about his mental toughness when we did our opening tonight, and part of that is staying sharp during these delays.
Well, Keith talked about his focus. I talked about his concentration. Matt Harvey, I think the thing working against these 2 young pitchers, Randall Delgado for the Arizona Diamondbacks and Matt Harvey, they don't have that many reps in the major leagues, but they certainly in the minors and in their high school years, college years, have gone through delays like this.
Tony Campana just called up today. The Diamondbacks put Willie Bloomquist on the disabled list with a contusion to his hand. And so Campana, who may be the fastest man in Major League Baseball, will lead things off against Harvey. And you always have to be very wary of the bunt with Campana right from the start of the game.
For you Met fans, you remember Campana as a Chicago Cub. He was a guy that would always start in center field against the Mets. And like you said, a real igniter.
So Harvey ready to go. Game starting just under 2 hours late. There's your umpiring crew. Quinn Walcott, our first look at him behind the plate, a rookie umpire, so that'll be interesting to watch. Tim Welke is the crew chief, Mike Everett and Bruce Dreckman rounding out the crew. And there's Mr. Walcott, who is getting his first New York home plate exposure. And Harvey ready to go for the first pitch of the night. And Campana bluffing a bunt, takes a strike, 96 miles an hour. And we are underway.
Corners in, David Wright aggressively in at third base, and Satin kind of in nowhere's land. You know, you're not going to be able to feel the bunt. I kind of like him playing a little in more. And like I've always said, I used to like to play in, show that I was kind of worried about the bunt, and then move back with the pitch.
This is Harvey's second career start against Arizona. The first one was his major league debut. That was last July the 26th. He started at Chase Field in Phoenix with a tremendous bang, 5 1/3, no runs, 3 hits, 11 strikeouts.
3 of those 11 strikeouts were Paul Goldschmidt. Maybe that's why he's not in the lineup tonight.
Campana lifts one to center field. Kirk Neuenhuis playing out there tonight. And that's the first out of the night.
Well, that was the first taste we had of Matt Harvey in Arizona, Gary, and you and I did that game, and we saw that. I don't normally like contemporary terms, but that was a razor blade slider he had that night.
Very nice. You don't like contemporary terms?
No, it was a razor blade slider.
He prefers to fall back on caveman terminology when possible. Here's Aaron Hill, 3 for 9 in this series. And he takes a fastball for a strike. 97 from Harvey. That comes off a brilliant performance against Washington last Friday. No walks, 11 strikeouts in 7 innings. Throws his first breaking ball, and it's pulled into left field for a base hit. So Aaron Hill with a 1-out single.
Well, first breaking ball is a hanger, Ronnie.
Well, very interesting that Aaron Hill in the first game in this series hit 2 base hits to left field on sliders. Harvey goes back to it.
So 1 out and 1 on. Now Eric Chavez getting the start at first base tonight with Goldschmidt getting the night off. Chavez recently back from a month on the disabled list with an oblique injury. He's 1 for 7 in this series, hitting a .310 in just 126 at bats. Chavez goes after the fastball, 0-1.
Nope, there was a little sigh from the crowd here, this big crowd here from Harvey giving up that hit. 3 times he's gone 7 innings with a no-hitter. It's not going to happen tonight.
You know, I've talked about this before, back being a kid and watching Tom Seaver pitch. Every time he took the mound, you thought, this could be the day. Drilled into left field, and it's a base hit for Chavez. Hill will go first to third, and Chavez will hold at first as Young threw to the wrong base, but nonetheless a single for Chavez, and Harvey in immediate difficulty, first and third and 1 out.
That ball's out of the strike zone. Fastball running away. It was belt high up. And give Chavez credit. And like I said earlier, a guy like Harvey, you've got to go up the middle on him and look for the fastball, and his other stuff is just too good. What do you want to do? Hit his breaking stuff, or do you want to hit a fastball?
So Harvey has a first inning jam to try and work out of. Miguel Montero will step in, 1 for 9 in this series. Montero having a rough year, hitting .222, well below his norm. That's of the infield at double play depth, and Harvey fires the fastball outside.
I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher come up and right from the first inning you can almost tell if he's got that little extra, and not yet for Matt.
Two 2-0 now to Montero. And for you, is that extra something you can read on a radar gun?
No, it's hitter's reaction. Hitter's reaction to the pitch. The Chavez hit, that's a ball he fouls back. He doesn't catch up to it.
Team Prado doing some decorating in the on-deck circle. So now Harvey behind on Montero, 2-0 as Buck sets up outside. Blew that fastball by him. He had his home run cut, 2-1.
No, that's a 2-0 fastball, and Montero always swinging for the downs. This was right into the wheelhouse, right down the middle. It bled it out over the middle. And Montero with the big uppercut. 15 home runs last year, 18 the year before. He's dangerous.
He had one of the 3 hits against Harvey last July when he made his debut, and the changeup misses up and away, 3-1. Hill is at third, Chavez at first. They both singled. So Harvey, after an hour and 51-minute rain delay at the start, finding some difficulty in the first inning.
I doubt if Kurt Gibson will run with Chavez at first. Doesn't run well. And Montero swings and misses too much.
On 3-1, Montero swings through that fastball, and it's 3-2.
Well, he's just thrown 2 fastballs by him. Ronnie, I say give him a third. This is right down the middle again.
Give him a third. You can elevate it a little because Montero has the uppercut, and again, I don't think you can run Chavez.
Well, he's thrown him 2 fastballs in fastball counts. Now he's gotten to 3-2.
Don't try to trick him.
Chavez a very short lead, not going, and ball 4 loads the bases. So he sailed that fastball on 3-2. And now the bases are loaded for Martin Prado.
Ronnie, I think that maybe Harvey's a little bit pumped up, big crowd.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what happens in the first inning is that what you want to do as a starting pitcher, and it's nice to see David Wright out there just calming him down. David's done that many times this year. What you want to do as a pitcher is you want to kind of skate through that first inning. But, you know, the hitters don't let you do it sometimes, and they put you right in the thick of things straight away.
Well, here's Martin Prado, the former Atlanta Brave, with a chance to do some serious damage in the first inning. Hill, Chavez, and Montero the base runners.
Montero was the mark for the strikeout. Prado is a much more difficult out. High ball hitters got to keep the ball down.
Had a big game last night. Single, double, and home run. And Prado chases the slider out of the strike zone. 0-1.
That was nasty. Prado going the other way, Keith, but he gets a slider.
That's a good one. A hard one, too. Prado goes the other way. You got to go in and get him. Mets double play depth, shading Prado to the opposite field in the outfield.
Another slider. This one misses. Ball and a strike. Prado doesn't strike out much. In fact, he's got 39 straight plate appearances without a strikeout, which is the longest current streak in the majors. It's a spot where Harvey very much would like a strikeout, a pop-up, or a ground ball right at an infielder.
His power, his middle of the plate, up in the strike zone.
7 home runs on the year, including one last night. He hits a ground ball right at Quintanilla. Takes it to the bag. Double play. Side retired. Harvey finds his way through first inning trouble with a 6-6-3 double play. Mets come to bat in the bottom of the first with no score. Here's your Geico Mets starting lineup for it tonight. A rare start for Kirk Neuenhuis. The Mets faced so many left-handers over the last 2 weeks, but a right-hander tonight, so Kirk's getting a start. Otherwise, the same unit that's been going out there to help the Mets win 11 of their last 17, and they'll face young Randall Delgado, looking for his first win of the year tonight for the Diamondbacks.
Well, Mets fans will remember him from a Braves uniform, 24 starts in a Braves uniform. You see his Toyota numbers. He has not gotten a lot of run production. One of the few athletes, major league pitchers, from Panama.
Faced his old team in his last start. Pitched a good game in Atlanta, but lost out to his former minor league roommate Julio Teheran 3-0. Eric Young will lead things off. Young has been tremendous at the top of the batting order since joining the Mets 2 weeks ago, hitting .321 as a Met. And Delgado's first offering in for a strike. It'll be Young, then Murphy and Wright for the Mets in the opening inning. Eric 3 for 9 in this series, including a couple of doubles and 3 RBIs. That's been the surprising piece about Young's game. He's driven in 10 runs out of the leadoff spot in 13 games. And he takes a strike on the inside edge, 0-2.
Quinn Wolcott so far, did you see Murphy on deck, is hunting for strikes. He's aggressive behind there, the rookie umpire.
Delgado, just 23 years old, a native of Panama. Came over to the Diamondbacks in the Justin Upton trade from Atlanta.
Ex-Met Bruce Chen was from Panama, right? Mariano, the great Mariano Rivera, of course.
And Ruben Tejada.
Young with just 22 at bats against right-handers, hitting .227. Of course, that's his weaker side.
And he gets him, or did he get a piece of it? And Montero saying that he caught the foul tip and he wants some help from the third base umpire. Quinn Wolcott said the ball hit the ground, but Montero said he caught it clean.
Oh. He just asked the third base umpire, though, Bruce Dreckman, and what did he say? He said it hit the ground. So he asked. I don't know if they got it right, but they asked.
No complaint from Kirk Gibson. Young keeps his turn at bat alive with Murphy on deck. Delgado keeping everything inside on Eric Young. 2-2. Mets have faced Delgado once before. It was early last season in Atlanta. He matched up against Johan Santana and pitched into the 6th inning and won the game 9-3. Little topper, tough play. In comes Prado and no play. Eric Young with an infield single.
Better to be lucky than good sometimes. Swing and bunt.
You know, we're so used to David Wright making that play that we think it's easy. It is not an easy play, and Prado could not come up with it.
And I'm not sure he would have thrown him out even if he had come up with it cleanly.
He didn't have a shot.
So it is an infield single for Young, who continues to get on base at the top of that batting order. Now Daniel Murphy, who's been struggling lately, 1 for 9 in this series. He got a night off yesterday, at least part of a night off.
Step on it. He put it right on the ground.
He couldn't wrestle it to a standstill, so he pounded it. Murphy pops it up in foul ground, and Prado should have room. And puts it away for the first out.
Well, Murphy did not waste any time there. He's been kind of popping up lately, getting the ball in the air, too much in the air, and this will segue right into that Coors Light Diamondback defense. And you can see right there, Chavez, only 9 starts. He's been a third baseman most of his career. Remember him, obviously, Yankees, and but mainly from the Oakland A's. Prado, the big trade for Justin Upton over at third base.
Murph sits second all year with guys who can't run on first base. He has someone who can run now. He's got to allow him to do that.
Good point, Ron.
So now Wright bats with 1 out and 1 on. David 3 for 9 in this series. 4th in the National League in on base percentage, 9th in slugging percentage as his terrific first half continues. By the way, tonight is game number 81 for the Mets, so if they will reach the statistical first half of the season at the conclusion of tonight's game. So you can get a pretty good read on where everybody is. David trying to time that breaking ball and fouled it back.
Big cut.
Ruthian swing.
You see what David's done for the last 4 weeks. His best stretch of the season so far. Marlon Byrd waits on deck. Could be a double play. Prado to Hill. And gets it to first in time for the 5-4-3 double play. So just as the Mets turn to double play in the top of the inning, the Diamondbacks do for Delgado in the bottom. No score. Well, he's gone places that have been rather unprecedented through the first almost year of his major league career. He's got the lowest earned run average through 27 starts of anybody as far back as they've looked. He's got the lowest walks and hits per innings pitched through 27 starts of any pitcher as far back as they've looked. I mean, pitchers just don't pitch that well this early in their career as Matt Harvey has. Jason Kubel leads off against the shift, and he takes ball one. Kubel 2 for 4 in this series, hitting at .265. The Diamondbacks again tonight without Gerardo Parra, who suffered facial and arm injuries when he did a face plant on the warning track on Monday night. So they're without a couple of key elements of their lineup without Parra and Goldschmidt. Kubel takes it low. 2 balls and a strike.
Big shift in the infield, and also what we've seen a lot what the Mets do when they put that big triangle shift on the right. Notice the outfield shifted the other opposite field. Neuenhuis slightly to left. Kubel's a lot like Montero, the catcher. Uppercut swing, looking for something to pull, looking for something to lift out of the ballpark. Doesn't get cheated.
2-2. And the breaking ball, strike 3 call. Harvey gets Kubel looking at a curveball for his first strikeout of the night.
The old backdoor hook, Ronnie.
2 curveballs to start. 1 is ball, 1 is strike. A changeup out of the strike zone. Fastball beat him, and the curveball taken.
I love that pitch from Harvey to left-hand hitters. I love how he drops it on the back door on him.
Here's Cody Ross. Diamondbacks had a big threat in the first inning. Bases loaded and 1 out, but Harvey able to get the double play and get out of it. You know, it's kind of an axiom about elite pitchers that if you're going to get them, you need to get them early. Keith, when you were facing an elite pitcher, was that in the back of your mind that you had to do something in the first inning if you were going to get him?
Well, not that you had to do something, but you felt certainly, there's a nice curve right there, just missed. You certainly felt that it was, first time through the order, the team collectively was on point. Other pitchers, you can feel, okay, we can get him in the middle. Second, maybe third time through the order, we'll get to him. But a guy like Carlton, Seaver, Maddox, Smoltz, Kershaw, I'll get contemporary. Now Harvey, you got to get him early. Get him early.
You like the Museum of Modern Art tonight.
Exactly.
Very contemporary. 2-1 to Cody Ross. So if you have an inning like the Diamondbacks had in the first inning where you've got that big opportunity and you don't come through, is there a sag after that?
No, there's not a sag. I mean, if you really look at it, that ball's hit 10 feet left or right of Quintanilla. That's a base hit, 2 runs in. I mean, Prado hit that ball hard.
I'll tell you what a team like Arizona's saying after an inning like that. This guy's got nothing. We got 2 hits in an inning, and Prado ball was a bullet. Lucky to get us out in that inning. That's what they're thinking.
You also got
even if you've lost 8 of 9.
You're still thinking that. That's how confident you get.
That's a good point right there, Garrett. It's the club that's down right now. We can't catch a break.
3-2 from Harvey to Ross, and he struck him out. Got him with a slider. Back-to-back strikeouts for Harvey to start the second.
Well, my thought before the game was this was the guy that you had to be careful. Why Cody Ross? He doesn't hit for a high average. He just is a big pitcher slayer as a hitter. He has been his entire career.
So 2 out and nobody on. Now Cliff Pennington getting his first start in the series. Pennington, who has started about half the games for the Diamondbacks this year, playing shortstop tonight. Switch hitter, and takes a fastball for a strike. Quickly, Harvey in front 0-2. Firestone Complete Auto Care Extra Mile. Clayton Kershaw passed him in ERA last night by throwing a complete game shutout, but Harvey leads the league in just about every important statistical category. 0-2. Too high to Pennington, 98 miles an hour.
Put it in perspective, Kershaw is 1 year older than Matt Harvey. He's got 68 wins and 7 shutouts.
How apropos that Harvey is pitching the final game of the first half for the Mets officially. Game 81.
His 18th start. I'll guarantee he won't make 36. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Harvey strikes out the side in the second inning. At the pitch end of a jam in the first. Dominant in the second. Star Gnome, presented by Pepsi. The first 25,000 fans attending the 110 game against the Diamondbacks will receive an all-star gnome. Get to Mets.com for tickets. The Bird likes the idea of the gnome. He'll lead off in the home second inning. Marlin 4 for 11 in this series with a couple of doubles, hitting a .262 for the year. Randall Delgado sees his first pitch fouled off. Now, the Elias folks ran their numbers for you today.
They did, and I saw Bob Waterman, and I said, sometimes the eyes deceive you, because he disputed what I said last night. I thought that he swung at first pitch, first time up all the time. He said no.
Well, the first plate appearance, according to the numbers, he swings at the first pitch 31% of the time, but after that, he swings 43% of the time.
Lesson learned, leave the percentages to Bob.
No.
He knows his numbers.
He does.
Curveball from Delgado in for a strike, and it's 0-2.
The big question is, did Bob tell you in 20 words or less?
This is a very important part of our production here, my friend.
.93 from Delgado. That's about where he's going to top out. Randall Delgado replaced Brandon McCarthy in the Diamondbacks rotation. McCarthy has some shoulder problems, so Delgado making his fourth start now. Started his year in Reno in the Pacific Coast League, where he was really struggling. 2-5, 5.91 before his call-up. And Bird just got a piece of the changeup.
Well, I think it was interesting that the Arizona team, they wanted Tehran in the deal over Delgado. Atlanta said, you have to take Delgado. Tehran was outstanding in spring training. He has rounded into form of late for the Braves. They're hoping the same for Delgado, for Kirk Gibson's crew.
The thing is, Tehran has had the space to round into form because so many pitchers were pitching well around him. Whereas here in Arizona, they've gone now 24 consecutive games without a win from a starter. Yeah. They need somebody to kick it into gear fast. Well, Diamondbacks are in first place, but they're only one game over 500.
You know, I'm sure that Mr. Corbin doesn't need anyone to make a excuses for him, but I thought he threw a good ball game until the weather was just, I mean, he was the one out there when the weather was at its worst, and that's when the big inning happened. He had the beginning of the 7th. We sat here for I don't know how long, Gary, and when they came back, of course, Brad Ziegler wasn't able to get the Mets out.
No, Corbin gave up 3 hits and a walk before he left, and all those runners wound up scoring.
Third time through the order, and the fat of the order, David Wright got it started. Bird doubled and Satin doubled.
Bird lines one to left field for the Mets' second hit of the game. Well, he got a curveball and stayed on it.
Well, Marlin keeps the shoulder in. Got 2 strikes. It's not a bad breaking ball, really. And he lets go with one hand. All about 2-strike hitting going up the middle.
So now the phenomenal Josh Satin, and he really has been a phenomenon. This is his 11th start, and he's been on base a couple of times just about every day.
Yeah. A tough 2-strike hitter. Got a good knowledge of the strike zone.
And he's had big hits late in games. He had the tying hit Monday night in the 9th inning. He had the go-ahead hit yesterday in the 7th inning.
Well, not only the big hits, Gary, driving in runs, he's also in the middle of innings getting on base. He walks. You saw the on-base percentage over 500. He has a good eye at the plate. He's always in the middle of things.
He's had 41 at-bats, 16 hits, 7 of them doubles. Not a home run hitter, although he hit 9 at Vegas this year.
You know what I like about Josh Satin? You had a Mets team whose lineup consisted of double-figure strikeouts every single night. He's right in the middle of the lineup, and he's a guy that puts the ball in play. That changes it just in itself.
We mentioned how he made an adjustment down in the minor leagues. Got a little more widespread at the plate with his feet, and not horribly, but just gives him a little more balance.
One and one to Satin with Neuenhuis on deck. That's with the leadoff man on for the 2nd straight inning. And Satin pops one up. Campana comes into shallow center field. And that's the first out of the inning. So Satin retired, 1 out and 1 on. And now Neuenhuis. Just the 12th start of the year for Kirk. The Mets have won 11 of their last 17 games. And over the last 2.5 weeks, Terry Collins has frequently mentioned Neuenhuis's walk-off home run, which began this stretch as a catalyst for a whole different level of play for this team. Remember, the Mets were 1-6 on a homestand. They were down in the 9th inning against the Cubs. Neuenhuis hit the 3-run homer to turn a loss into a win. And they've really played awfully well since then, despite an incredibly difficult schedule. Remember, they had a 4-hour rain delay in Atlanta. They had a day-night doubleheader. They had 3 time zones in 3 days. They had a 13-inning game, a 2-hour rain delay last night, another 2-hour rain delay tonight. And yet this team has been able to keep its focus and play its best baseball of the year.
Credit for those kind of things go to 2. The manager and the players themselves. The players themselves have not gotten into a habit of woe is me, a difficult stretch, just going out and continuing to play hustling baseball.
And in an era where players can be obsessive about their work habits, they've backed off as a group. They're taking less batting practice. They're understanding that they don't need to be wearing down before the All-Star break.
You only get so many hits in a hot streak, and you don't want to waste them in the cage.
1-2 to Neuenhuis, and he struck him out on a pitch inside for a strikeout for Delgado, and that's the 2nd out of the inning.
Well, what we've seen from Delgado so far is a good fastball, Ronnie. Spotting inside.
He reminds me a little bit, just a little bit, and I'm going back in time here. Hopefully you guys can remember Pedro Martinez's brother, Ramon Martinez. He has that long arm action, has got good fastball, good changeup. We haven't seen enough of his breaking ball yet.
So this would be a guy, Gary, I mentioned that maybe, okay, we can get him deeper in the game.
Here's John Buck in a 3 for 38 stretch. Harry Collins was asked before the game about the utilization of his catchers because Anthony Recker's had some good offensive games lately. And he said the balance of play between Buck and Recker might change a little bit. Recker might play tomorrow after playing last night, so that would be different, playing 2 out of 3 games, which Recker really hasn't done all year.
Absolutely, and there's nothing wrong with getting Recker in there 2-3 times, or at least 2 times a week.
Yeah.
If you're playing every day, Buck's caught a lot of games.
Well, you see, since that great hot streak that Buck had, he has not really produced much, and Recker in limited at bats has. Recker had a home run and an RBI hit last night. Change up in the dirt, 1-2.
So far on observing Delgado, if I'm a hitter and I've got to face him, he has yet to get his changeup over. He's a fastball pitcher, so make him get the changeup up. He's been in the dirt with it. Those are the things you focus on when you're on the bench. And you also, as a left-hand hitter, you're watching to see how he's pitching every left-hand hitter and vice versa for the right-hand hitters.
That's 4 players in their lineup, including Buck, who have faced Delgado before in the regular season.
This guy is I think the vernacular they use now is glove side of the plate. What does that mean for Delgado? His glove side is on the outside corner for right-handed hitters, inside corner for left-handed hitters. That's where he's most comfortable.
Miguel Montero with the painted fingernails. Montero's shown off several quirks in this series, including the licking of the bats the other night. He explained it, by the way. He said he was trying to find which one had the highest grain, and he couldn't feel it with his fingers because he had batting gloves on, so he used his tongue instead.
Grain?
That's what he said. Looking for the best grain.
Try Cheerios. I mean, come on, Red.
Well, that was his explanation.
Well, you know, I didn't have maple bats. There's so many. I don't know if Montero uses a maple bat and there's a difference in the grain. I always wanted bats, and I requested bats from Louisville. It was all white ash. Was the thicker the grain. You want the grain separated further apart. That's the best bat. Because the hard surface of the bat is the wood. The soft surface of the bat is in the grain, the line of the grain. That's why you used to groove your bats until they outlawed that.
Bird gets set to run. They're going to hold him on with 3-2 and 2 out. Not sure why. And Buck goes down swinging on a high changeup from Delgado. Back-to-back strikeouts for Randall Delgado to get him through the bottom of the 2nd inning. Matt Harvey heads back to the mound for the 3rd with no score. Hours by rain. Matt Harvey had a troubled first inning, but was able to strike out the side in the second. Randall Delgado, the Diamondbacks pitcher, will lead off. Not a bad hitter. 7 for 38 in his career, a 184 lifetime major league batting average. He takes a fastball strike.
He's closed up like George Hendrick in the day.
Very close stance. By close stance, watch his back foot.
This is a 1970s stance.
Wow.
Nobody hits like this anymore, and they say a foul ball. That ball hit him very close to fair territory, but the rookie umpire, Quinn Walcott, quick to say it hit him in foul ground.
It's a close stance, but he steps straight ahead. It really doesn't have his heart in it.
It hit him in the hands, but his back leg was still in there. See how it comes, hits him in the hands?
Yeah.
See that left leg? Still in there.
Yep.
Fouls off the curveball. There's your average fastball velocity for Matt Harvey and company, presented by Verizon Fios, making life more entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. Delgado pops one up in foul ground. Satin over for a look, but that's in the dugout.
To me, Gary, the ability to not only throw hard, but to maintain that late in the game has really been the strength to me for Harvey.
Well, he was behind Strasburg and Samardzija earlier in the year, but his velocity has come up over the last 3 or 4 starts. He's also thrown the hardest average slider and the hardest average curveball in the major league.
It's come up with the confidence.
Oh. Good slider to get Delgado. That's 4 consecutive strikeouts for Harvey. 1 out and nobody on in the third.
That's not fair to throw that to a pitcher.
Yes, it is.
By the way, pitchers still only have 1 hit against Harvey this year. That was Steven Strasburg.
Oh, that's right.
They're now 1 for 29 against him. And that's a huge advantage pitching in the National League. And if you're, if you're able to take advantage of that, so much the better.
I used to strike out 160, 180 in the National League. I went over to the American League. That dried up. It was horrible.
Campana flies one out to left field, and Eric Young is there. 2 away. Well, we saw Harvey strike out Delgado with a slider. That's his signature pitch with Kevin Burkhardt.
Just, off center a little bit. Make sure it rolls off my middle finger. And then that too, I throw as hard as I can. And, if I want it a little bit bigger, I'll bring it back. Get more seam on it. A little bit bigger break. A little bit bigger break, yeah, a little slower. Probably around 87, 88. And then I'll go here for more of like a cutter, a little sharp, sharp angle. So, and then that's same concept, just throw it.
And we've really seen both from Harvey already tonight.
Yeah, Cody Ross, we were talking in between innings. It would look like a little cutter to me, and I was asking both you guys, do you think that was on purpose or it just was a smaller slider? You see that Harvey there looking out to center field. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I don't know if there's a light or something that's upsetting the hitters. But back to work.
Aaron Hill steps into the batter's box. He had a base hit his first time up. And he takes outside. Do all pitchers throw their slider as hard as they can? Is that part of the deal with the slider?
Yeah, it's part of the deal. You don't want a big break on it.
3 hopper to first by right, can't get Hill. And he's safe. It's not a good throw by David.
David elects to back it off, and he can't do that. He should have went and gone after it.
Track's a little wet too, so the ball's not going to really make its mark through that grass.
They're going to charge an error on David. For right, that's his 8th error of the year. A 2-out base runner for the Diamondbacks, and Eric Chavez will get a turn. Chavez hit one to left field for a base hit his first time up. Diamondbacks loaded the bases in the first inning, but Harvey got a double play to get out of it. And he misses low with the fastball, 1-0.
No, I was talking about the slider. Just think of it in kind of math terms. if you throw a slider and don't throw it as hard as you can, the time it takes to get there, if it's slower, it's going to break more. So you don't want it to break more. That's why you throw it as hard as you can. You want it to break a small amount.
And the key is for it to break as late as it can.
Late as you can.
Exactly. You don't have to have a big breaking slider. The key is it's tight. That means it breaks late, and you want to get a downward tilt. It gets under the bat. Ed Halicki had a 3-inch slider, but it broke down, and it got under your bat, and it broke late.
Ed Halicki no-hit the Mets for the Giants. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Chavez.
I would go back to the dugout at Candlestick Park off facing Halicki, who really wasn't a hard thrower, and I have a comfortable 0 for 4, and I did that. And finally, I figured out, and I said, that slider's better than I think it is. I've got to give him a little more credit.
Yeah.
Harvey has struck out 4. Make it 5. Chavez down swinging, side retired. Harvey works around David Wright's error. Takes care of Chavez. Well-placed fastball. The crew answers all your Jets questions. Plus, Janae heads to California for a behind-the-scenes look at Camp Cromartie on Jets Nation. New episode Sunday at 7, only on SNY. Omar Quintanilla leads off the Mets in the home third. Quintanilla's had a terrific series, a career-high 3 RBIs last night. 5 for 9 in the first 2 games. He continues to play every day. He continues to play well. He had a couple of errors in his first few games as a Met this year, but since then he has been spotless on the defensive end. There's a good changeup by Delgado when it's 0-2.
That was a heck of a play he made in the first inning. That was a bullet by Prado, and he had to really get in front of it, kind of cradle it in his breadbasket, and make the play for the double play.
Ruben Tejada just joined Las Vegas last night, had his first AAA at bat. There's a strikeout for Delgado on the changeup. 3 straight strikeouts now for Delgado, and making liberal use of that off-speed pitch.
Well, 3 straight changeups to Quintanilla, and all out of the strike zone.
It's all about Matt Harvey. His fans are so locked in on his every move. He got a big ovation walking in from the bullpen before the game tonight.
And his name was announced with the lineup. Usually it's crickets when that happens, not when his name's announced.
Well, you know, you got a new generation of Met fans here, and I think this new generation feels that we got our guy, our Seaver.
Little dribbler goes foul. Montero picked it up in foul territory and must have known, and yet still wheeled and made a throw. It was odd. Well, that
I guess better safe than sorry, Gare?
I think that's where Harvey was intending to bunt it the other night. We got his sacrifice bunt down on Monday.
Chavez at first base is like, are you kidding me? One hop right into the right hand.
So a 2-strike count to Harvey, who's 5 for 39 at the plate this year. And he got him. So 4 strikeouts in a row for Delgado, that time with a curveball.
Well, you think you can stump Gary? It's the AT&T trivia question tonight again for you, Gary. You're on the spot. Tweet us your trivia question and answers. Make sure that you bring the answer with you, please. And that's at SNYTV. What's that? Hashtag Stump Gary.
I'm on a 1-question losing streak.
That's all right.
That was a tough one.
He still got tried till 2 weeks ago.
You saw the question last week?
It was tough.
Yeah, that was a tough question. It was who the Mets get from the Yankees for Robin Ventura.
David Justice. I know now.
Yeah, me too. It's Eric Young, and he takes the strike. Young dribbled one to the left of the mound that went for an infield hit in the opening inning. Mets have 2 hits off Delgado, who's retired the last 5. He fouls off the fastball, and it's 0-2. Young got a start at second base last night. His versatility. Didn't have anything really complicated to do at second, but that gives Terry Collins another option with his switch hitting leadoff batter. Ooh, after 8 straight strikes to start the inning, that's the first ball. So Delgado had a chance for that 9-pitch, 3-strikeout inning.
He is pounding Eric Young inside.
Murphy would be next. And Young with a defensive cut fouls it off. It was a Murphy-esque 2-strike swing. '23-year-old Randall Delgado, just his 4th big league start of the season, looking for his first win. 5-12 in his big league career. 2-2 to Young.
He does something for you guys at home that you don't see very often from young pitchers. He goes over his head. Most pitchers kind of start their windup right at their midsection or right at the name across their chest, but he goes right over his head.
Aaron Hill gets in front of the ground ball, throws out Young, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Randall Delgado, his first of the night. On we go to the 4th. No score. in the first inning.
Yeah, it really was the one time where he lost control. Came back on a 2-0 with a fastball down the middle, 3-1 with a fastball down the middle, but really peeled a little off of that fastball at the end. Not even close. That was the one at bat of the first time through the lineup that he did not have any control.
That walk loaded up the bases with one out, but Harvey came back to get Martin Prado to ground into a double play.
Now, if you're the hitter Montero, you got to say to yourself, in hitters counts, he threw 2 fastballs by me. I'm going to be ready for first pitch fastball. Let's see how he counters.
Starts him off with a curveball for a strike.
Absolutely, and you know he was in hitters counts too. He was 2-0 and 3-1, so he was sitting on the dead red. And Harvey, right there, said, "Okay, I'm going to lead him off with a hook."
Curveball first, changeup. He loves that sequence.
And he gets ahead 0-2.
He might get a fastball under his chinny chin right here.
I would recommend it.
See Buck's head down. Whenever catcher's head is down, he's contemplating, thinking, what should we do? Fastball in and up.
Yep.
We got it. I'm a lot better pitcher now than I ever was when I was 25 years old. I wish I really. What do they say? What are you saying there, Gary?
Look at Montero's expression. It's like, I was lucky to block that ball. Forget about hitting it. Yeah, if I knew then what I know now.
That's right.
Backdoor hook.
Bounces it, and it's 1-2. Harvey has struck out 5. He's walked 1, allowed no runs and 2 hits. Martin Prado on deck. Jason Kubel behind him. That's another high fastball. Montero able to foul that one off.
Well, you notice that Buck, on every fastball, he's motioning up with the glove because Montero is a low ball hitter. Down with the breaking stuff because Montero up and down the ladder. He can fish for the curveball in the dirt.
Back to the changeup, and he grounds one toward the middle of the diamond, sneaks it through for a base hit. So Montero on base for the second straight time. Third hit off Harvey, and the first time the Diamondbacks have had the leadoff hitter on.
You know, that's a good at bat by Montero, but I don't know if you guys remember changeup here by Buck. Remember the start in Miami that Harvey had? He gave up a lot of hits, very similar to this ground ball on changeups, 2 left-handed hitters up the middle.
Well, the Diamondbacks now have as many hits as they had against Harvey in his major league debut. He allowed no runs and 3 hits in that game. Here's Prado, who grounded into a double play with the bases loaded to end the first inning. A hard hit grounder that Quintanilla was able to handle. And Prado takes a fastball high for ball 1.
Interesting how Prado was first at bat, went after the first pitch he saw off Harvey and was a bad slider. Now takes a fastball up, which is really a pitch he likes, out over the plate and up. All the old cat and mouse about every at bat's different.
That slider missed outside. It's 2-0. When Prado grounded into a double play in the first inning, it was his 13th ground ball double play this year, up among the league leaders in the National League.
Well, that was a bullet he hit, though, so that's just the hang with him.
Two only if they hurry. Murphy with the turn and not quite in time. Nice effort by Murphy in the middle with Montero bearing down on him, but not quite hit hard enough to turn 2.
Well, nice when you hit a ball that's tailor-made double play and have enough wheels to beat it out. Helps your ball club. Good hard slide by Montero. Oh boy, almost could have turned his ankle. Didn't go after him. I shouldn't say good slide. He could have taken Murph out.
So Prado now at first with 1 out. Here's Jason Kubel.
Big shift.
Kubel struck out looking his first time. With Prado at first base, let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
With Prado on first, it reminds me of the scene yesterday at the Tigers indoor batting cage here at Citi Field. Just Kirk Gibson and Martin Prado. Gibson putting the ball on the tee, Prado hitting. That happened for a long time. Nobody else. So Gibson needling his team today above the batting order on the big board in their clubhouse. Had a sign that said hitting lessons with Gibby, number 23. He listed numbers 1 through 13. Number 1, Martin Prado. The rest, all blank. Just a little needle by the manager, guys.
You got to know who you can needle to, and Prado is the ultimate in team player, and that's why the Diamondbacks picked him up. He can play anywhere. He's a great teammate. And Kubel takes a changeup for a strike, 1-2.
Gibson has this saying he tells his players, get comfortable being uncomfortable. What does that mean? Just tell them to be humble. You're going to have your day when you get it, and other days you're not going to get it. Just keep working hard.
One-two coming to Jason Kubel. Struck him out with a high fastball. Harvey dials it up to 97 for his 6th strikeout of the night.
You say it all the time, Keith. If you swing and have an uppercut, you cannot handle a ball that is above the letters.
You can't catch up.
That, my friends,
oh no,
is a Cholula.
That's only the first. How many we got to get in a game?
You could throw up that Cholula just about every other fastball he throws.
It's a good one tonight with Harvey out there.
Now Cody Ross, who struck out his first time up. Ross 2 for 10 in this series, including a home run that put the Diamondbacks up in the 13th inning Monday night. Only to have the Mets rally.
Well, Ronnie mentioned earlier, this Cody Ross is a veteran hitter. He's probably a, 260 hitter, but dangerous, and he's got pop. He's a guess hitter, and he's a clutch hitter. Very underrated player.
Can I ask you a question? Why is he wearing eye black at night?
That's a very good question. You can lose it in the lights.
Toward the middle of the diamond, Quintanilla smothers it. The backhand flip. Got him! What a play! Quintanilla with a brilliant play. Flat out and somehow able to backhand it over to Murphy to get the force play that ends the inning. Fantastic play by Quintanilla. And that's how the top of the 4th comes to an end. Wow, indeed. SNY Game Day on SNY.TV, featuring pitch-by-pitch coverage, player cards, and in-depth stats. Check out SNY Game Day during every Mets game, now on SNY.TV, your online home of all things New York sports. Daniel Murphy leads off in the 4th inning. Murphy fouled out his first time up.
Music, what was that, Devo or?
I see the drummer for Devo passed away last week.
51 years old.
David Wright on deck, Marlon Byrd behind him. Are we not men?
We are Devo.
2 balls and a strike to Murphy. Big doings in Atlanta tonight. Ricky Nolasco in what many believe might be his final start for the Miami Marlins beat the Braves. 7 strong innings. Marlins win 6-3. Nolasco, the most tradable chip. Driven toward the gap in left center field, and that's down for an extra base hit. Murphy wheeling to second. The throw coming from Campana, and he got him.
Wow.
Great throw by Tony Campana, playing that ball off the wall and throwing a strike to Hill. And they get Murphy at second base.
Well, it hit the wall and came right to him. He played it beautifully, and look at this throw. That is a fantastic play.
I thought Murph got his foot in there.
No, I think he got close.
Campana just up from the minor leagues today, has great speed in the outfield and showing off his arm as well.
I thought he was safe. I thought he slid to that inside part of the bag. Very close, though, and great play. Great defensive play.
So 1 out and nobody on, and now David Wright, who grounded into a double play his first time up.
That is a final play by a center fielder you're going to see as far as the arm is concerned.
Well, Campana can play defense. He can run. If he can ever get on base regularly, it'll be a perfect big league leadoff hitter.
That's the old baseball adage, you know, you can't steal first.
He's going to have to become like maybe a Brett Butler kind of player.
Well, the Cubs used him a lot as a pinch runner, as a defensive replacement. Now getting a crack for the first time with the Diamondbacks. Delgado, for a rare time tonight, behind in the count. And his second 3-ball count of the night. Marlon Byrd waiting on deck. David, a hit sign 3-0?
Yeah, why not?
Taken all the way.
And David, it could have been on. I mean, it's a hitter's option. It's because the hit manager gives you a hit sign. He's just giving you your choice if you want to or not.
You have permission, not a requirement.
The problem with the 3-0 count for a hitter is you feel like you're going to get the same pitch 3-1 as you got 3-0. Well, David did not. 3-0, he got the fastball down the middle. 3-1, he got the changeup. Let's see what Montero wants to feature here. Fastball away.
Wants him to shake off.
Stay with the changeup.
Drive in the air to deep left field. Back goes Kubel for a look, and it's out of here! David Wright gives the Mets the lead with his 13th home run of the year. He got the changeup on 3-2, and Wright hits it out. 1-0 New York.
Well, here's the sign, all the shakes, and one too many changeups, not a bad pitch. May have had too much plate, it did. But it was down, and David let go with one hand. Good hitting.
43rd run batted in for Wright. Now has one more home run than Byrd for the club lead. And Marlin takes inside ball 1.
On the recent road trip, David hit a similar home run in Philadelphia. One-handed, ball out of the strike zone, just got the good part of the bat on the ball, and that's how strong he is.
5th home run allowed by Delgado in 23 innings of work.
Well, the changeup is the pitch du jour in baseball today. All the kids are coming up with it. They're being taught the changeup in the minor leagues. They take their lumps with it down there, and some of them take their lumps with it up here.
Berg rounds one for Pennington to handle, and that's the first out, second out. Ronnie, it used to be that pitchers wouldn't throw changeups to same side hitters. Right-handers wouldn't throw them to right-handers, left-handers wouldn't throw them to left-handers, but that's changed.
It has changed, but it's still the wrong reason to throw the pitch. And why is that? If you have a left-handed hitter, you throw that changeup 3-2. The changeup is going to work away from the fat of the bat. If you're throwing a changeup to a right-handed hitter, when it comes back, it moves back to the fat part of the bat. That's the reason that you're able to one-hand it over the wall. Good pitch, though. Sometimes you get beat by the talent of the hitter.
You always want, just one little caveat here, is that you want the changeup away. Why? You're getting the hitter out in front. You're getting it off the end of the bat. If you miss over the middle, you're giving the hitter a chance, like what Wright did right there. If that ball's on the outside corner, David's going to get it out in front. He's going to hit it off the end of the bat. It's not going to go out of the ballpark.
Delgado behind Satin 2-0, and Josh takes a fastball for a strike.
You know, we saw Montero shaking 99% of the time. When you watch a pitcher shake 3-4 times, it means that the catcher is trying to get the hitter to think it's not going to be a fastball. Well, it wasn't a fastball, and it still cost him.
Or just get a little doubt in his mind. Yeah. It doesn't. Whatever you want the hitter to get confused. And I always felt if a catcher did that and I started thinking too much, I'd step out.
Yeah.
And make him just start the whole sequence over again.
I have another question about Delgado. He's thrown his changeup 27% of the time this year. Is that just too many changeups?
Too many. 1/4 of the pitches you're going to throw when you throw 93, 94 miles an hour.
Delgado behind on Satin 3-1, and he takes a fastball strike. Full count.
The problem with trying to trick the hitter is that sometimes the hitter is not paying attention to your trickery. He's just concentrating on the baseball.
Satin fly to center his first time up, and Josh fouls it away. Murphy began the inning by hitting one off the wall in left center, but Campana threw him out at second. Wright followed with a home run. Delgado's given up 4 hits in the first 3 2/3, and just the 1 run. Does Satin remind you of anybody? I've been trying to figure out for 2 weeks. So there's something very familiar about his swing, and I can't figure out who it is.
Kind of telegraph that change up a little bit, slow down his motion.
It's a little bit of Edgardo Alfonso in his swing.
I don't know.
No?
I don't think so.
See that?
Not going to give him that much credit this early.
I'm not saying he's that good a player.
I'm only kidding.
I'm saying what he looks like.
I'm only kidding.
Long drive, deep left field, right down the line. That ball is out of here. Josh Satin's first major league home run. First Wright and now Satin, and it's 2-0 New York. He's been hitting, and now he hits his first major league home run.
Well, he's got the number. Might be Gardo Alfonso. Nice hitting again. Just short stroke. He turns on the fastball in. Let me tell you something. That ball was a bell-tied pitch. He's so quick.
There will be negotiations ensuing with that fan who just picked up the ball to try and retrieve it for Josh Satin.
Well, maybe take the O off, and I don't want to give him too much credit either, but how about Edgar Martinez? He's got a little bit of that swing. Great DH from Seattle.
Well, the Mets just hit their second home run of the game. Log on to sny.tv/Dwayne Reed to print out your coupon for $5 off Crest 3D white strips, redeemable at any Dwayne Reed or Walgreens store.
You probably have that in your bag.
I have lots of white strips.
Well, it's been a couple of weeks on a cloud for Josh Satin. 1-2 to Neuenhuis, and he works him inside with the fastball. 2-2.
Somewhere in one of the newspapers tomorrow, we're going to see the name Wally Pipp.
Strike 3 call. Neuenhuis caught looking to end the inning. 5 strikeouts for Delgado, but a big inning for the Mets with the long ball. Wright and Satin go deep, handing Matt Harvey a 2-0 lead after 4. Met often works solo, but he's got his partner with him.
I did not know that Mr. Met was married. The ponytail, nice ponytail.
Well, Matt Harvey now staked to a 2-0 lead as he takes the mound for the 5th inning. Matt has given up 3 singles. He's walked 1. He struck out 6. The number 8 hitter Cliff Pennington will lead off in the 5th. Pennington struck out his first time up.
It's the first good breaking ball he's thrown. Breaking ball, first good curve ball he's let a hitter off with. Sharp.
City probables for tomorrow's final game of the series. Dylan G coming off a victory in his last start up against Ian Kennedy, who is having a very rough go of it, like most of the Diamondbacks starting pitchers. 1 o'clock game tomorrow on July the 4th. Here's the 0-2, and Pennington pops it up.
Wow.
Straight up.
There's a big league pop up here.
And Buck stays with it. 1 out.
Well, always the important inning. Team gets you some runs. Pitcher run out there and run a goose egg up.
Here's Delgado, who struck out his first time up. In Toronto tonight, Max Scherzer gets the victory. Tigers beat the Blue Jays. Scherzer now 13-0.
Wow. Beat a red hot Toronto too.
Went 6 1/3, allowed 2 runs, 7 hits. Ball 1 to Delgado. Let's check in with Kevin.
As we saw, Buck made that catch on the mile-high foul ball. Anthony Recker is developing a little bit of a complex, guys. See, he hasn't caught Matt Harvey yet, and I had a lighthearted conversation with him as Delgado has the second ever hit for a pitcher against Matt Harvey. He goes the other way for a single. And Rucker said, you know, I'd love to catch him. I don't know if I'm not worthy or not, kind of laughing and smiling as he said that. But he said, I will point out that in spring training, I did catch him for 5 shutout innings. So I'd like to think that maybe that comes in somewhere down the line. He did get serious for a moment. I said, hey, what do you see, though? You're on the bench there when he comes in. So you know what I see from him? Whether it's a strikeout, a walk, a home run, the look is always the same. But I will change that, guys, because we showed the look was a little different after that Quintanilla play. First time I've seen him crack a smile coming off the field yet. Let's go back to you.
So Delgado aboard with a 1-out single, and Tony Campana the batter, and he takes a fastball for a strike.
Nothing inspires, Kevin, a pitcher like a defensive play. I mean, you just feel like the guys are behind you, you know, and it's just, you know, you see it as a sure hit, and it becomes an out, and you're like, boy, guys, you're behind me tonight 100%. You love to see it.
Two balls and a strike to Campana, who's been up twice in his Diamondbacks debut, flied out both times. He's also made a terrific play in the outfield to throw out Daniel Murphy, trying to stretch a single into a double. Satin playing in front of the bag at first with the pitcher aboard. Slap to third, Wright's got it, double clutches, and that's going to cost him any chance for a double play against the speed of Campana. He is incredibly fast.
Well, let's see here. The double clutch by Day. Was Murph there? He looked like he's there to me. Take a look.
Watch Campana running to first.
You got to feed it to him. He's there.
He's fast.
He may be the fastest man in the league.
Yeah.
So now you got to watch out for the stolen base with Campana aboard. Aaron Hill is 1 for 2. He's singled and reached on an error. Campana has 54 career stolen bases. This is a guy who's only had 319 major league at bats.
So a full season, he's a 100 stolen base guy.
Watch him home to first.
He runs like a track man.
Fastball strike to Hill. Well, the one thing about having Campana on base, might see a few more fastballs behind him.
Well, the Mets have had 2 opportunities to turn a pair tonight and have not. They've turned 1 thus far, not in that first inning. Got to turn 2 for your pitcher.
There goes Campana, and no chance for Buck. Couldn't get a handle on the ball. And Campana has his first stolen base of this season. He had 24 in the minors this year.
No chance here on the backhand. Buck's trying to get it quickly, loses control. And when you watch Campana, he's so fast, he's got to start his slide a little early because he goes right past the bag.
Stolen as many as 66 bases in a minor league season. So a ball and a strike to Hill with the runner in scoring position and 2 out. And he tries to hold on the slider, but he went around 1 and 2.
That's just guessing by the hitter. Guessing fastball, slider, counter.
Harvey has struck out 6.
7. Side retired.
Stolen base, no problem. Solve it with a K. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. John Buck will lead off for the Mets in the home fifth inning. Mets with a 2-0 lead on the strength of solo home runs by David Wright and Josh Satin in the fourth inning. As you look at your Tri-Honda fifth inning recap, Matt Harvey, 5 innings, 7 strikeouts, and 5 scoreless innings under his belt. Buck struck out his first time up. Quintanilla and Harvey to follow against Randall Delgado in the home fifth. And he misses outside, ball 1. The Chris Davis saga continues. Hit his 32nd homer and then broke a 2-2 tie with a 2-run double in the 8th. Orioles beat the White Sox 4-2. That was the first start for Scott Feldman with the Orioles after they picked him up from the Cubs.
Wow. Instant return.
The only problem is he doesn't get to bat.
He can hit.
Well, we already saw that. Saw that when the Mets faced him in Chicago. Buck hits it hard, but Prado able to snag it on the backhand. 1 away.
Well, when you're not getting base hits, boy, it just seems like when you do hit it hard, it's at someone. Nice play by Prado.
I don't know how many runs batted in Cabrera had tonight, but we get Davis now to 83. Cabrera started the night at 85, trying to run away with it, but he can't.
Of course, it's going to be hard to catch Davis in home runs if he keeps going at this rate. Here's Quintanilla, who struck out his first time up, and he pulls one just foul. Well, here's tonight's Verizon text poll. Do you think Yasiel Puig of the Dodgers deserves All-Star consideration? Text 56812. A for yes, B for no. By the way, Puig just came out of the game for the Dodgers tonight. He crashed into the wall. He did come to bat after, but now he's been lifted from the game in the bottom of the 6th. Don't let that affect your vote. Quintanilla tries to bunt his way on and fouls it off. There's the score in Colorado tonight after Kershaw shut out the Rockies last night. Well, those are the numbers on Puig in his first month in the big leagues. Rather unprecedented.
Wow. 8 home runs in 27 games.
Quintanilla down on the changeup. 6 strikeouts for Delgado. 2 out of the inning.
I don't usually do this, Gary. Good changeup here. I changed my mind.
Really?
After saying it the other night and then watching him and thinking about it, I was thinking, why would I want to watch the All-Star game? Well, I would want to watch the All-Star game and will watch the All-Star game if Harvey starts it. But I also would watch it if Yasiel Puig plays in it. So I guess I'm guilty of wanting to see certain players play in the All-Star game because they're having great years, and he's just a phenomenon.
Well, I mean, last year Bryce Harper came up in what, like April 28th, something like that.
Yeah, both he and Trout, same day.
Right, and they both made the All-Star game, and you know, we came up a month later, basically. Yeah. So should that disqualify him? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Trout and Harper played in about 65 games. He'll play in 40. I don't know.
Mark Fidrich in '76 had started 11 games in the big leagues, and he was a starter in the All-Star game. So
the Bird, my man.
But how do you equate 11 starts to how many games that everyday player plays?
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
that's a third of a season right there.
I know as Harvey goes down on strikes to end the end of the year, Strasburg came up. People were touting for the All-Star game after 3 starts. I thought that wasn't enough. So it's all a matter of your sensibilities, I guess. 7 strikeouts for Delgado, but the Mets with a 2-0 lead as we go to the 6th. Red Sox 52nd win of the year. Matt Harvey taking the mound for the 6th inning with a 2-0 lead. They'll face 3, 4, and 5 in the Arizona batting order. Eric Chavez, Miguel Montero, and Martin Prado. Well, the Pirates had their 9-game winning streak snapped last night. They come back and beat the Phillies tonight 6-5. Pedro Alvarez a homer and 3 RBIs. That's 52 wins for the Pirates.
He's not hitting for average, but he is driving in some runs.
Chavez has one of the 4 hits for the Diamondbacks tonight. So Pittsburgh now 52-31, the best record in the majors. That's a good curveball by Harvey to get ahead 0-2. Harvey has walked 1 and he struck out 7 tonight. Sells that one outside.
That might have been the first shakeoff I've seen tonight between Harvey and Buck.
Buck has caught every inning that Harvey has thrown this year. Hit toward the hole. Quintanilla is there on the back end. Plenty of time to throw out Chavez. So that one was almost routine for Quintanilla. The way he's played tonight. Time now for Lowe's Never Stop Improving. Well, since at least 1916, most strikeouts in the first 27 career games. Matt Harvey 6th on the list. Kerry Wood, of course, in his 5th career start, struck out 20. That gave him a bit of a head start.
And Nomo and Darvish had a professional career before their first 27 games.
And then there was Doc.
That was pretty special.
So 19 years old.
Every time that we're going to be putting a list on for Harvey, Doc will be on the list too.
And as phenomenal as Harvey has been, and he's putting up numbers that no pitcher ever has before, remember that Doc was 4.5 years younger than Harvey was when he made his debut. That's just phenomenal. There's the comparison between Harvey and Gooden through 27 starts. Doc with a few more strikeouts, Harvey fewer walks and a lower ERA. And surprisingly, not that many fewer innings when you consider that we're talking about 3 decades apart, and the way that the handling of young pitchers has changed. Harvey has gotten to a pretty good number as far as innings pitched.
But that number after 184, after 200 for Doc, jumps because of the 85 season. When he starts going 260, 276 as far as innings in a year. That's why I said before that, you always want to put it in perspective, because I think the young man in Los Angeles, Kershaw, is about the equal left-handed. Got a little quicker start than Matt, year older, has 68 wins and 7 shutouts.
Two to Montero. Well, the other thing that we're going to have to start watching with Harvey, and of course the Mets have got their eye on it, is that he's at 122 innings now. We're halfway through the season. He's not throwing 244 innings this year. They just will not allow him to do that. So the question is, at what point do they start to limit his innings?
Ronnie, if you had 18 wins and you had 5 starts left and they shut you down, would you be happy about that?
My thought is that he's going to be in the running for the Cy Young. Yep. So you're going to take him out of the Cy Young race?
Well, I think what they plan to do is to shorten some of the starts as we move through.
I would rather give him an extra day than to shorten what he does within the realm of the game. I mean, you're out there trying to compete and win a game. I'd rather give him extra days in between, or an extra day. Do that the rest of the year. I know they were talking about it, about going to a 6-man rotation to try to give him extra time. But it's hard to be in the middle of a game. It's 2-0 and going, you know what? You're only going 6 tonight, kid, because we're trying to hold your innings back. We're trying to win the game. That's number one, I think.
3-2, and Montero pulls it foul. Well, the Nationals certainly did that with Strasburg.
Yeah.
And Obviously, it was controversial when they shut him down last year. The circumstances were different. They were heading to postseason. The Mets are not likely to be heading to postseason this year, but Harvey has a chance for some significant individual honors if he keeps going this way. So it'll be hard. Ninth pitch of the at bat, and Montero fouls off another one. 98 that time from Matt, the hardest he's thrown all night.
I also think that how would I say it in the correct way? I don't think Matt will be as silent as Strasburg was as far as being shut down. That's just my.
Well, Strasburg also had the surgery too, so Matt's
that's
healthy.
Different. That's different. You're right. You're right, Keith.
Again, the 3-2. Just inside, and Montero draws Harvey's second walk of the night.
Well, that's the one guy in the lineup so far here that Harvey has not gotten out. Montero with 2 walks now and a base hit. And I'm going to tell you, that was a terrific at bat by Montero.
A 10-pitch marathon. So Montero on base for the 3rd time, 2 walks and a single. And here's Prado, who's hit 2 ground balls tonight, one into a double play, the other that might have been a double play, but the Mets were unable to turn it. Prado, who homered last night, tying run at the plate in a 2-0 game. And the slider from Harvey just misses. Ball 1.
I will say, though, and that's the last thing I'll ever say the whole rest of the year about innings. I promise.
Good luck.
I promise. I'm telling you, it's the last time I say it, is that Washington got in trouble because they let everyone know early. Let this kid pitch, and if you decide he's not going to pitch anymore, then shut him down. Then answer the questions.
Well, they did that last year with him.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
shut him down the last couple of weeks of the year. Hit sharply, base hit. A ball that Quintanilla couldn't get to. Rare. So Prado has the 5th Diamondbacks hit, and the tying runs are on base.
High.
Yeah, 2 sliders up. One to Hill for hit, and here to Prado.
And you saw on that replay right there, see how Prado stays level on that high pitch. Maybe we can take one more look at it. That's what makes him such a good high ball hitter. You got to keep the ball down. Watch his swing. Gets on top. Look at the follow through. On a horizontal plane, that swing. That's just a beautiful cut right there.
So now a dangerous spot for Harvey. You've got a power hitter at the plate in Kubel with the tying runs on base. He's handled Kubel so far. Struck him out twice, looking in the 2nd, swinging in the 4th. Each team now with 5 hits. But the Mets with a pair of solo home runs have a 2-0 lead. And he starts him off with a changeup, and he fouls it off.
Interesting pitch after blowing Kubel away on fastballs upstairs. A changeup to start this at bat.
Well, they cannot play Kubel over the excessive triangle pull with runners on 1st and 2nd. Not as extreme a pull.
There's a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-2.
So really what they're doing defensively here is taking the middle away from, up the middle away from Kubel. With Quintanilla up the middle. Wright cannot be too far away from 3rd base because of the runner on 2nd. I almost feel if it's a ground ball to right, which is probably improbable, Quintanilla is going to get the assist on the double play attempt.
And Kubel just got a piece of that high fastball.
So I don't think Murph can get over on a double play if the ball's hit to right.
Kubel doesn't hit too many to the left side of the field on the ground.
The odds are, it can happen, but the odds are against it. That's why the Mets are playing percentages here.
The only problem is that it can happen because he's facing a 98-mile-an-hour fastball.
Harvey ahead 0-2. And too high that time.
Well, they're making Harvey work this inning, are they not, Ronnie?
I think they've made him work the entire game. They've done a nice job other than the 2nd inning down at the bottom of the lineup. They've taken some pitches. They've fouled off some tough pitches.
Montero by himself has seen 26 pitches in 3 at-bats. Here's the 1-2. And Kubel goes down on strikes. The curveball in the dirt. Harvey has strikeout number 8. 2 down.
2 fastballs prior. Set up this curveball in the dirt. You have to just start your bat so early.
And this is what we noticed on Harvey, Ronnie, the last couple starts, is that Harvey knows he has that sharp breaking ball. He's throwing it in the dirt. And see if the hitters are biting. It's a tough pitch to lay off from a hitter when you're throwing 97-mile-an-hour gas upstairs.
Now Cody Ross is 0 for 2. He was robbed on an extraordinary play by Quintanilla his last time up. 2 on, 2 out, 2-0 Mets, 6th inning. And Ross takes up and away for ball 1. Ross 2 for 11 in this series. Montero at second. Prado the tying run at first. And a high fly ball left field. Back toward the corner is Young. Right near the wall, and it's out of here. Cody Ross with a 3-run homer has given the Diamondbacks the lead. His 5th home run of the year. The first 3-run homer Matt Harvey has ever allowed in the major leagues. And just like that, Arizona goes in front.
Well, we talked about Cody Ross. Ronnie brought it up first. Very dangerous hitter. And with all these the big bats out of the lineup, this is the guy you got to be careful. Oh, it's a helicopter. And by helicopter, that means a backup slider hanging.
Cody Ross has the ability to guess on what pitch you're going to throw, and he doesn't miss when he guesses right.
6th home run Harvey's allowed this year. Now he's down a run, facing Cliff Pennington with 2 out and nobody on. So a walk to Montero, a single for Prado, and then after Harvey got the second out by striking out Kubel, Ross on a 1-0 slider hits it out of the ballpark to give the Diamondbacks the lead. And that's golfed the other way by Pennington for a base hit. So the 3rd hit of the inning for Arizona. And their 7th of the game. And Dan Warthen will pay a visit.
Well, they've made that's not a bad backdoor hook. Nice hitting by Pennington.
Well, what is he saying here? I'm not really saying anything, and I'll tell you, as a pitcher, you're not hearing a thing he says because you are just stewing over the fact that you struck out Kubel to get the 2 outs, hung a slider to Cody Ross. Cody Ross is a great pitcher slayer. In the playoffs, Roy Halladay at his very best, finest he's ever thrown in the major leagues, came off a no-hitter in the postseason. Cody Ross hit 2 home runs off him in his first 2 at-bats.
There it is, a slider that just stays inner half, a little above the belt, and when it's a hanger like that, folks, it loses all velocity. It almost comes in like a BP speed.
Now Randall Delgado, who's all of a sudden been staked to the lead, so now everybody when they face Harvey at night is going to wear eye black.
That's right. Yeah, right.
Delgado had a base hit his last time up, singling to right field. It's like Corey Hart. Sunglasses at night, eye black at night.
Do you remember in Anaheim when they used to have that bad sun and day games that Nolan Ryan would wear eye black as a pitcher to try to get the sun out of his eyes? How scary is that?
That's very scary. 100th pitch coming up for Harvey. And he strikes out Delgado to end the inning, but a damaging inning for Matt. Cody Ross takes him deep. 5th home run of the year for Cody Ross. The former Marlin who has broken Met hearts before. Puts Arizona in the lead. 3-2 Diamondbacks in the 6th. that Matt Harvey's given up as many as 3 runs. It's almost stunning when it happens. Sunday, Cyclones baseball is back, but this season it was no easy task. Get an inside look at how the organization overcame the impact of Hurricane Sandy, the major obstacles they faced, and the biggest change made of their home, MCU Park. On Mets Insider, presented by W.B. Mason, Sunday after the postgame on SNY. So the Mets will try and get Harvey back, trailing 3-2. Top of the batting order coming up against Randall Delgado in the bottom of the 6th. If you are just joining us.
You know, Kevin said something interesting before when he was mentioning the reaction by Harvey on the play by Quintanilla, but the gist of what he was saying is that you don't see a lot of reaction from Harvey. Good, bad, indifferent. Just gave him a 3-run home run. Pretty stalwart there in the bench. I don't know if I would be. I know I wouldn't be. I'd be hot.
Eric Young 1 for 2 tonight, and he takes a strike from Delgado.
Good ones turn the page.
No way to make it work, isn't it? Young had an infield hit in the first, grounded out in the third, and he loops one toward the middle, and Pennington can't get it. Base hit for Eric Young, his 2nd hit of the night. Just curled it over the head of Pennington.
Off the end of the bat, and that's another changeup right there that you want. If you get it away on the outside corner, he rolls it over off the end of the bat. There's too much of the middle, able to get enough bat, muscle it over the shortstop's head.
Now Daniel Murphy, who hit one off the wall in left center in the 4th inning, tried to stretch it into a double and was thrown out. See if Young tries to steal a bag here with Murphy up and right on deck.
Murphy first at bat, swinging first pitch with Young on first. Let's see if he gives him a couple of pitches, or at least a pitch.
First pitch, changeup for a strike. Young has only stolen 1 base since joining the Mets, and that was third base. Got 9 steals for the year, but the first 8 came as a Rocky. And for all the times he's been on base as a Met in 2 weeks, that's a little surprising.
To me, he's been very conservative in stealing bases. I know that he talked to Kevin and has mentioned that there's times that he knows they're not to steal a base, but certainly the Mets trying to get back in this to see if they're a little more aggressive. Delgado does not have a great move.
Murphy is 2 for 11 in this series. David Wright, who homered his last time up, is on deck.
See how he's getting in there, that Chavez doesn't even have to apply a tag because he's in there too quick? What does that tell you? Well, you could get another foot maybe. Another 2 feet maybe. If you have a long arm action to the plate as a pitcher, you're going to have long arm action to first base on a move. That doesn't make for a quick move.
And Delgado spending a lot of time worrying about Young.
Eric's going to have to tuck his shirt back in.
Well, he should pay some attention to him. He's trying to protect a 1-run lead here.
And Delgado's only making his 4th start. There has not been a stolen base attempt against him yet this year. Still a relatively short lead for Young. 0-1 to Murphy. And he flares one to the second baseman. And Hill should have let it drop because Murphy didn't run.
Wow. Oh, boy.
If he had seen that Murphy didn't run, I'm sure he would have let it drop, but I'm sure he didn't realize it. That could have been an easy double play and a real mistake on Murphy's part.
It's almost like, sorry, Gary, it's almost like Hill's talking to the umpire now and asking him exactly kind of how would I do that. You can't really catch it and drop it. You've got to let it bounce and then try to turn 2. You know, you just can't do that.
Murphy got to run. Wow.
That could have been a huge embarrassment for Murphy had Hill realized what was going on and let the ball drop.
No, Murph's always a hustler, and that's a rare one right there. And his frustration came out.
So 1 out and 1 on. Now David Wright, who blasted a home run to give the Mets the lead in the 4th, his 13th of the year. And Delgado paints the outside. 0-1. Keeping it away from right. Ball on a strike.
Delgado's thinking in his mind, I got beat last at bat with a home run by right on a changeup that kind of drifted over the middle inside part of the plate. He's going to try to go hard away. See if David can make that adjustment. I'm sure he will.
Marlon Byrd waiting on deck. Keeps it down. 2-1. Right now with 13 home runs, 43 driven in. Montero asks for the changeup. And right hits one out to left center field. Kubel moving over. He's got plenty of room. And that's the second out, and Young goes back to first. So 2 out of the inning.
Now we have talked about it all night about the changeup, getting it away. Why you want to get the changeup away? Well, Delgado gets it away here. Look where it hits the bat, off the end of the bat. So it's not going to get out of the ballpark. The home run that David hit the previous at bat had the middle. He was able to get the barrel on it. So it's so critical, at least from a hitter standpoint, to throw that changeup. It's got to be on that outside corner.
Now Marlon Byrd comes to bat. Diamondbacks are getting their bullpen cranked up with Delgado up to 88 pitches in the 6th inning, trying to protect a 1-run lead.
And Marlon Byrd had a big 2-run home run in him in the Rocky Mountain State. Let's see if he has one here.
Josh Colmenter, who was the losing pitcher in the 13th inning on Monday night, getting up in the Arizona bullpen. Well, Young, who led off with a base hit, is still at first base, has not attempted a stolen base, and Delgado continues to check in on him. It's been effective so far in keeping Young put.
Changeup.
Well, that's a good pitch for Marlon to hit.
It's very dangerous.
1-0 to Byrd.
If you are the Mets bench, you're hoping that they try to counter against Byrd with a changeup, because anything up in the strike zone, he's a fantastic breaking ball and changeup hitter.
Delgado has thrown an amazing number of changeups tonight. About to throw his 90th pitch of the night. Kept the fastball away, and it's 1-1.
Delgado's got nice stuff. He's got a chance to be a pretty good pitcher. I mean, he's hung in there. He's pitching against Harvey. He's a young kid.
He's 23 years old.
He's poised. Keeps the ball down.
Gave up a couple of home runs in the 4th inning, but now he has a lead.
What Delgado's done very nicely, and I'm sure Charles Nagy, the pitching coach, has worked with him on this, is that he has varied, changed his deliveries to the plate, varied and changed his throws to first base. He's gone quickly. He's taken his time. No map on him.
Byrd pulls it down to third, and Prado goes the short way to get the force, and that retires the side. So Delgado works around the leadoff hit and holds the lead. 3-2 Diamondbacks after 6. results.
Well, we're talking about the home run on the left and then the fly ball to left field on the right. Look at the difference. The ball outside, just not much, but that's all it takes from it getting on the barrel of the bat where you see in the left, as opposed to enough on the end of the bat where it's an F7 on your scorecard.
Top of the batting order, Tony Campana leads off in the 7th against Matt Harvey. Campana 0 for 3 in his debut with the Diamondbacks. Harvey held the Diamondbacks scoreless for 5 2/3, but then a 3-run homer by Cody Ross turned this game around. The ball and a strike to Campana with Hill and Chavez to follow. David Aardsma, the right-hander. Scott Rice, the left-hander, up behind Harvey in the bullpen with Matt over 100 pitches for the night. Tony Campana out of the University of Cincinnati. Same school that produced Kevin Youkilis and much longer ago Sandy Koufax.
The Bearcats.
But Sandy went there on a basketball scholarship, not to play baseball. But baseball kind of worked out for him.
In the long run, it did. Absolutely.
Harvey's 2-2. And Campana watches the breaking ball low. Full count.
This has been a pretty impressive after the first 3 innings, first time through the order. It's been a good approach on Harvey. They're making him work out there. They're not swinging at bad pitches.
And Campana takes ball 4. Close pitch. It's the 3rd walk issued by Harvey. Only the 2nd time tonight the Diamondbacks have had the leadoff man on, and it's their base stealer Campana. So now Aaron Hill, the batter. Campana has already stolen 1 base tonight. That came with 2 out in the 5th. Now he gets on base leading off the inning. The stolen base by Campana in the 5th was only the 2nd against Matt Harvey this year. 2nd in 4 tries. Hill is 1 for 3, singled back in the 1st inning. And he takes a fastball for a strike. Well, he got a first pitch fastball the last at bat with Campana on base, and he got another one.
But this is professional at bat. You got to take a pitch there. You're trying to allow Campana to steal second.
Or it's a lost art because he got more fastballs when he got a speedster on base. Yeah. Attempted steal. First pitch hit and run, but that's a lost art.
I think the Diamondbacks, unlike Eric Young and the Mets, they are going to push the envelope. Campana can't wait to start going.
It is a rarity for Campana to get on base and not try to steal. Little flare, shallow center, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Campana trying for 3rd, and now he's caught between 2nd and 3rd, but nobody covering the bag, and so he's able to get back. He was going to try for 3rd, thought better of it. Neuenhuis was getting set to throw, and then Campana slammed on the brakes.
Well, Satton's got to stay anchored at first, and it's a case where 3 guys are going out for the ball, so it does vacate second base.
There's nothing you could do. If it's a pop-up, then the pitcher can cover second, but it's not. It's a base hit. So what does Harvey got to do? He's got to back up 3rd in case there's a throw there.
Correct.
Just unoccupied base. Happens.
So now the first 2 men aboard in the 7th inning on a walk and a bloop single. And Eric Chavez bats with 1st and 2nd and nobody out. Chavez 1 for 3 on the night. And he flies one foul. 0-1. Chavez singled back in the 1st inning. Since then has struck out and grounded out. 2 for 10 in this series.
Arizona Diamondbacks, you're seeing a little bit why they're in first place tonight. They're taking some good at-bats, battling at-bats.
It's almost like they had a wake-up call with a challenge of Harvey. They're athletes. It brings the best out in you.
Fly ball, pretty deep left field. Young going back onto the track, leaping, and he can't make the catch. Campana turning third. He's got Hill right behind him. Campana comes in to score. Hill stops at third. It's a double for Chavez, and the Diamondbacks now lead 4-2. Well, Eric Young's got a lot of speed, but not great going back on balls.
Oh,
and that one just got over.
He had the glove there. It looked like he just missed it up against the wall. Just out of his reach. And look at the runners here now. The back runner, pay attention. Now, the front runner, Campana's not sure, quite so sure, a little late read. But the back runner did the correct thing. And that's Aaron Hill. He was on second base.
I love watching Campana run. That is something special.
Chavez beat by the fastball all night. Was not beat there.
Matt Harvey out of the game after 6 innings plus. A rough night at the office for Harvey, as it turns out, after a very good start. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon Fios. We'll be right back. The Mets bring the infield in, second and third, and nobody out. And Montero takes a fastball for a strike.
Rice hasn't pitched for a couple of days. Last faced Washington. You can see his numbers. Left-handers are just not hitting him. Right-handers just upside down. Really good on the inherited runners.
Montero got on base 3 times against Harvey, 2 walks and a single. And his walk led to Harvey's downfall in the 6th inning.
And he drives one to deep right field. Bird is there, but tagging at third is Hill. He'll come in to score. Heading for third is Chavez. He makes it safely. Sacrifice fly for Miguel Montero makes it 5-2 Arizona.
So that's the 5th run charged to Matt Harvey.
Sorry, Gary. In some ways, it's Montero who drove up the pitch count of Harvey to 110. Got him out of the ball game. Nothing really the Bird can do there. Can't throw home. Throws it to third just in case.
Well, Arizona is showing us why. The first 2 nights, they didn't show a whole lot coming in here. 1-7 on this road trip, and really looking at Matt Harvey, a red-hot pitcher. Prado steps in, and boy, showing you why they've played a first-place start so far this year in the West.
The infield stays in for Prado with a runner at third and 1 out. So 5 runs now charged to Harvey. It's only the second time in his career he's given up 5 runs in a game. Last season against San Diego in his 3rd big league start, he gave up 5. It's the first time this year he's had that many charged to him, and he's responsible for 1 more.
And it's a big run at third base. A 4-run lead. A salami. And by a salami, folks, I mean grand slam. And they can't beat you.
Rice behind 2-0 on the right-hand batter. And he buries that one in the dirt, 3-0. Left-hand batting Jason Kubel waiting on deck, and Rice pitching carefully here because Kubel is a double play possibility and can back up the infield.
Got to be swinging 3-0 here if you're Prado. I mean, there's no way Rice is going to throw a ball down the middle, and Terry Collins is hoping that also.
No, he doesn't come close to the strike zone, and he walks Prado on the semi-intentional walk. So now runners at the corners, and the infielders can back up with Kubel coming up.
Well, I got to believe the corners may be in a tad. We'll see where David situates himself. But Kubel's a pull hitter. Double play depth up the middle. The only guy that really has a play home is Satin, but if he gets a hard hit ground ball to him, he's got to turn too.
Well, Kubel is very slow. Any ball on the ground, you got a pretty good chance to turn to, and a good breaking ball by Rice to start him off. Kubel 3 strikeouts against Harvey tonight. Looking in the 2nd, swinging in the 4th, and again in the 6th. David Ardsma stays busy in the bullpen with Cody Ross, a right-hand batter, waiting on deck. Matt Harvey carried a 2-0 lead into the 6th, retired Eric Chavez for the first out in the 6th, then faced 9 more batters, and 7 of the 9 reached base. Starting with that 10-pitch walk to Montero. Cody Ross had the big blow with a 3-run homer, and then Harvey couldn't retire a batter in the 7th. One and one to Kubel. Stopped by Buck. 2-1. Well, Cody Ross turned the game around with 2 out in the 6th inning. Diamondbacks were down 2-0, and after one Ross swing, they were ahead 3-2, and now it's 5-2. Now Rice with a 2-1, and Kubel swings over it. 2-2.
Watch the front shoulder pull off. He's dead pull hitter, so he's just a middle in hitter. You keep that ball away, that slider away, he's going to do this. He's going to swing and miss all night.
And down too. Really, the slider he's going to hit is the one up with that swing.
Two. And a pitch in the dirt, 3-2. So do you send Prado here, even though you've got a strikeout candidate at the plate? Trying to stay out of the double play that way?
I wouldn't. Even though you're up for 3 runs, I would not. This is a tight ball game. Don't need to strike him out, throw him out. Got Ross in the on-deck circle.
Not going, and ball 4 loads up the bases. So Rice got ahead on Kubel, lost him. Back-to-back walks issued by Rice. Now the bases are loaded for Cody Ross, and David Ardsma is going to come in the game to face him. So Rice faces 3 batters, gives up the sac fly and 2 walks. And now with the Diamondbacks presented with an opportunity to blow this game open. Rice will exit, and Ardsma will come on. 5-2 Diamondbacks in the 7th. We'll be right back. Pollock will pinch run for the Diamondbacks, running for Kubel at first base and then stay in the game in the outfield. David Aardsma comes in to face Cody Ross with the bases loaded.
Remember, Aardsma came in that 13th inning before the Mets scored their 2 runs. Ross had put them ahead with a home run off Aardsma.
So Ross, who hit the 3-run homer off Harvey in the 6th inning, bats here with the bases loaded. 1 for 3 on the night. Chavez at third, Prado at second, Pollock the pinch runner at first. And Ross takes the slider out of the strike zone for ball 1.
Well, the 3-run shot here. Hanging slider from Harvey. And that made it a 3-2 ball game. 1 swing.
Ross has 5 career grand slams. In fact, the first 2 home runs he ever hit in the major leagues were both grand slams.
Wow.
Once had a 3 home run game against the Mets in Miami. Although the third one was foul. But it was a lopsided game and nobody noticed. Fouls back the fastball, and it's 1-1.
You know, I mentioned in the 2010 playoffs, see Pennington on deck. The Giants don't make it to the World Series without Ross. He had 3 home runs in that championship series against the Phillies when they were on top of their game. National League Championship MVP, 2 against Halladay, 1 against Oswald.
One to Ross, and he loses the bat. And all is okay.
For the netting.
Got pulled, did he not?
Ducking is always wise, even when there's a net. You simply can't catch a flying bat. Well, Ross not bothering to apply more pine tar. He'll stick with what he's got. Aardsma ahead of him 1-2 with the bases full. And Ross pops it up. Infield fly rule if it's fair, which it is. 2 out.
Well, you hate to leave that runner sac fly.
Nice job by Aardsma. 1 more to go.
Now we'll face Pennington, a switch hitter who will bat left-handed. Cliff Pennington 1 for 3 tonight, getting the start at shortstop with D.D. Gregorius getting a night off. Pennington single to left his last time up right after the Ross home run. Pennington this year with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, 0 for 16. Bats here with bases loaded and 2 out. And Aardsma missing high.
It's like B.J. Upton was 0 for 31 until he got a hit with 2 outs and the runners in scoring position against the Mets to make him 1 for 32.
The pitcher Delgado is out on deck, so it looks like he's intending to continue on. One and 1 to Pennington. They've got Josh Colmander up in the bullpen in case they change their mind.
Boy, he's got to have a rubber arm. He's up every night.
Well, it looked like he faded a little bit in that bottom of the 13th the other day. He gave up the winning hit to Andrew Brown.
0-2.
1-1 from Aardsma, and Pennington takes it wide. 2-1. Pennington's had 2 career at bats against Aardsma, 0 for 2. Right now, David Aardsma just trying to keep the Mets in this game. The Diamondbacks got 3 in the 6th. They've scored 2 here in the 7th. And a chance for a whole lot more if Pennington can get a hold of one. All fastballs from Aardsma, and it's 2-2.
huge pitch. Bases loaded, 2-2. If you're Ardsma, you have to end it here. Can't have the runners on the go.
2-2 to Pennington. And just got a piece of that. Still 2-2.
Ardsmith's showing a little more pop almost every time he goes out. He started around 90, occasionally hit then 91, and now amped up to 92 here with the bases loaded.
Back in his glory days in Seattle, he was throwing consistently at 94. And maybe he will again at some point, coming back from Tommy John and hip surgery. Bases loaded, 2 down, and Pennington asked for time. Ardsma was ready to go, but Walcott called time and then points at Buck.
No, what happened is John Buck called time. It wasn't the hitter Pennington. John Buck motioned to himself, to Ardsma, sorry, it's my fault. I called time. He was coming with fastball. That's always a dilemma for a hitter, right? 2-2, timeout, but you saw that the fastball came from the pitcher.
I never liked that. I could think myself into something terrible.
Fly ball along the right field line. Satin will watch that sail out of play. So he came back with a slider.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, you saw what I wanted, 2-2-2. It gets everyone thinking double time, doesn't it?
Yep.
Double think will get you in trouble.
Yes, it will. Take it from me.
Then when you start getting to triple think.
My problem is not thinking before I say.
And then you're
really in trouble.
7th pitch of the at-bat coming from Ardsma to Pennington with the bases full. And he struck him out. There's a big strikeout for David Ardsma. He comes in with the bases full and gets 2 big outs. But the Diamondbacks tack on a couple against Matt Harvey and lead it 5-2.
Oh, boy, that's exciting.
Everything was going right for Matt Harvey and the Mets until the 6th inning when Cody Ross hit a 3-run homer. 2 more for the Diamondbacks in the 7th, and they lead it 5-2 as we check out the Audi Mets box score. Solo home runs by David Wright and Josh Satin, where Satin is first in the major leagues. Both those came in the 4th inning. But that's all the Mets have gotten against Randall Delgado, who has stuck around and will pitch the 7th inning with a 5-2 lead. The results of our Verizon text poll: do you think the Dodgers' Yasiel Puig deserves all-star consideration? 58% of you say Yes. By the way, Puig left the game against the Rockies today with what they're calling a bruised left hip after crashing into the right field fence. Tony Campana moves over to left field. A.J. Pollock, who pinch ran, comes in and plays center field. So they've got some tremendous speed in those two spots. In the outfield behind Delgado, who's given up 2 runs and 6 hits. He has not walked a batter tonight. He struck out 7, bidding for his first victory of the season.
You know, when we sit around before the game and decide on the open, one of the mandates is that we always talk about the 2 pitchers. Well, we didn't even mention Delgado today, and he's been the better pitcher.
He looks impressive to me. He's looking for his first win.
He was outdueled by his old team, the Braves, his last time out, even though he pitched pretty well for 6 innings. Gave up 2 runs in that game, but his old minor league roommate, Julio Teheran, outpitched him on that evening.
Yep.
Well, Josh Sutton, fresh off his first big league home run, will lead off for the Mets in the 7th.
The Mets have 3 more cracks at the Diamondbacks.
And it's worth noting that since the opening game of the series, Kirk Gibson has kind of reworked his bullpen. J.J. Putz came back from the disabled list over the weekend. He's pitched twice. He blew the save on Monday, and after that, Gibby decided that Putz is not ready to be his closer, so Heath Bell has been reinserted as the closer, at least for now.
And that's an adventure.
And we've certainly seen enough of that last year when Bell was trying to close for the Marlins and often could not. But Bell did a nice job while Putz was on the DL. 1-1 to Satin with Kirk Neuenhuis and John Buck to follow in the home 7th inning.
It's always interesting to see how a young pitcher responds after he's gotten the lead.
And now, after a long inning in the top of the 7th, gets that changeup over for a strike. Satton's now hit in 9 straight games with his home run in the 4th inning. It's been quite the phenomenon. Just got a piece of that. Meanwhile, as if to answer, Ike Davis homered for Las Vegas again tonight. 2nd straight night that Ike is home.
How many he's got? Like 7, 6, 7?
If you're Ike and you're sitting there in Las Vegas and watching what Josh Satin is doing, what must you be thinking? Josh Edgin up in the Mets bullpen. Bounced foul outside 3rd.
Well, ironically, he gave him his locker.
Well, he didn't think it would be for long term.
You are thinking that I've got to work hard and get my fanny back up in the big leagues.
You're not thinking I could end up being Wally Pipp?
Well, there's also, you can think there's 29 other teams out there.
You got to have the confidence, I would think, to say, if I get myself right, I don't care who's hitting at first base, what his name is, I'll be back.
7th pitch of the at bat from Delgado to Satin, and he won't bite at that one in the dirt. 3-2.
Well, you don't want a leadoff walk here.
5-2 lead. You're a young pitcher in this situation. This is where you throw it. I'm not saying you throw it down the middle, but you challenge him with a fastball. You try to keep it away, and you hope he hits to the big part of the park in center field. That's your only goal.
The cardinal sin is a walk.
He hasn't walked a batter all night. Strike 3 called. Satin looking at a fastball for the first out of the inning.
I don't know what was the thought process there for Josh, looking for a breaking ball or an off-speed pitch.
Just a brain lock right there.
I just don't think you've been in the big leagues long enough to be doing that. And I know they're down there in that computer, and I don't buy it.
Career high 8 strikeouts for Randall Delgado. Here's Neuenhuis, and he hits one toward the middle and past Pennington, a base hit. So Kirk Neuenhuis with his first hit of the night, and the Mets 7th.
You know, I just want to kind of punctuate what I just said. And when you're a young hitter, you don't know major league pitching. And I know they got all the computers back there, and they can look at Delgado what he throws, all this and all that. But I don't care. Veterans are the ones that you learn, you get used to pitchers, and then, okay, maybe you can in certain situations look for a pitch. But you know what, with 2 strikes, you got to bear down.
So what does that mean? So you're saying that you have to look for a fastball and adjust?
Yes, sir. I'd strongly recommend it.
Buck drives one to right, but Ross moves back and grabs it.
And I do think, Gary, we've talked about it ad nauseum about we're in a new era of strikeouts. The increase in strikeouts in Major League Baseball. And I think it has a lot to do. How many times have we seen called 3rd strikes in a fastball? Hitters guessing with 2 strikes.
I think what I was trying to say before the pitch came is that you can throw certain pitches in certain parts of the game, but once you've been given a 3-run lead, there is only one pitch you can throw. You're not allowed to throw any other pitch. If you are, it's an embarrassment. You can only throw a fastball, mano a mano. Who's going to win?
And I think that's part of what's lost also, and I think that's part of what Keith is talking
like a feel
about.
For the game?
That you can look at a chart of what a pitcher throws in a given count, but the game situation also dictates pitch selection. And I'm not sure that when guys are looking at tendencies of pitchers that they necessarily take into account game situation.
Well, Gary, you explained it much better than I did. I guess I was just getting kind of emotional about it because, you know, I remember being in those situations and saying to myself, I got a little bit of a lead. If I walk this guy here, this is brutal. I've got to challenge him. He did. And Josh was taking. Not taking, but he took it.
And, you know, my feeling is, Gary, when you're 0-2, 1-2, 2 strikes, and you're bearing down, if a pitcher makes a good breaking ball pitch on you and gets you, he gets you. He's out there making a living. And you know what? You get a fastball. To me, the biggest embarrassment for me is when I took a called 3rd strike fastball, because then the pitcher set me up.
Quintanilla batting. He's struck out twice tonight. If he can get on base, the Mets can get the tying run to the plate, and Jordani Valdespin on deck to pinch hit.
Not emotional, passionate. Not getting emotional. I'm fine. Just a little passionate about it. That's all.
That's okay. Well, I think, you know, there are larger issues involved here. You know, we're talking about the tendency when you look at baseball on paper to treat every at bat as though it's the same, and when the game is played, not every at bat is the same. Struck him out with a changeup. So Delgado with his 9th strikeout of the night, a new career high for him. He's got 7 good innings under his belt and a 5-2 lead. Delgado outpitched him tonight.
You know, that means a lot for a bench. The team's struggling. We said they haven't had a win from a starter since June 5th. On and on.
Final game of this 4-game series tomorrow afternoon. Dylan G goes against Ian Kennedy. Our coverage begins tomorrow at 12:30 right here on SNY. Jordani Valdespin will play shortstop for the first time this year in a double switch. He'll bat 9th. And Josh Edgin will come on to pitch. He'll bat 8th as Quintanilla comes out.
Well, Edgin just pitched a couple days ago. Got a big out in his relief start.
Paul Goldschmidt held out of the lineup tonight. Will be the pinch hitter. For Valdespin, by the way, first time he's played shortstop in the big league since June the 5th of last year. He started one game, had 4 appearances at short last season, but did not fare well. And Goldschmidt first pitch swinging, flies one out to center, and Neuenhuis is there. 1 pitch and 1 out for Edgin in the top of the 8th. 1 out and nobody on. Let's go to the studio for another game break with Brian Custer, presented by Nissan. Ten wins in their last 11 games now for the Pirates.
Martin's become a real leader on that team, hasn't he?
Here's Tony Campana, who's 0 for 3 in a walk. He's stolen a base. He's scored a run tonight. Bluffs a bunt and takes a strike. Matt Harvey went 6 innings plus, allowed 5 runs and 9 hits. Walked 3, struck out 9. Scott Rice and David Arnsma followed, and now Edgin here in the 8th. And Campana trying to drag a bunt, but fouls it off.
All right, Garrett. Stump Gary. Who was on deck when Mookie Wilson hit the ball through Bill Buckner's legs, Garrett?
You got this one.
Well, it wasn't you. You were sitting in Davey's office.
Well, no, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
It wasn't Ray because he scored the winning run. It wasn't Carter because he got the first hit in the inning. Strike 3 called. Campana's down. It wasn't
Mitchell.
Kevin Mitchell because he got the next
Right.
hit. So it must have been Howard Johnson.
There you go. Great. I never know any of
you're
those,
right.
and I had that one. You know who I know is Howard Johnson? Who hugged Ray first when he came in?
I don't know. All I know is looking in Ray's eyes on the video, just watching on TV, he looked like a crazy man.
Oh, that was Daly.
Aaron Hill takes a strike.
There's the answer.
Well, it's nice to get back in the win column.
Oh,
Anybody keeping score?
yeah. You got to be 7 out of 10, maybe, right?
Wright throws out Hill, so Edgin has himself a 1-2-3 inning, and the Mets will go back to work in the bottom of the 8th. Valdespin, Young, and Murphy coming up against the Diamondbacks bullpen.
And by LIU Brooklyn, you know how good you are. Now find out how good. LIU Brooklyn, find out how good you really are. Love the Meet the Mets music. Start of the holiday weekend. Game got off to a late start tonight because of rain. So we go to the bottom of the 8th at 14 minutes to midnight in the big town. City's empty this weekend, right? I mean, there won't be anybody.
Nobody in the city, which is a great time to be in the city when you think about it sometimes.
Because there's still plenty of people in the city. And it's not as crowded. You can have some fun.
We're going to keep the Meet the Mets theme going the entire inning.
Why not? David Hernandez, the man they call hardball. You can see his record so far this year.
He had a rough inning on Monday night. Gave up a triple to Quintanilla and a double to Eric Young when the Mets rallied to win that game. This is great.
I don't know the third verse. Only you do.
There's only 2 verses.
2 verses.
It's like calling the cavalry.
Jordani Valdespin will lead off in the home 8th inning. Came in the double switch in the last half inning, and he takes a strike. It's been a very rough go for Valdespin. Remember on the last homestand, he got his 1 week to show his wares at second. Didn't play very well, and he really has barely played since, as the Mets have gone on this hot streak, winning 11 of 17. Slaps one toward the hole. Nice backhand pick by Pennington, and the one-hop throw in time. Beautifully executed by Pennington to get Valdespin for the first out.
Beautiful play. Knowing with the speed of Valdespin, he didn't have time to really set, and you give your first baseman a beautiful pick. One long hop, that's an easy pick. That's a heck of a play.
I don't think I've ever seen a shortstop get rid of it quicker than that.
He was a first-round draft pick by the A's out of Texas A&M, known for his glove, and he made a terrific play there. 1 out and nobody on. Here's Eric Young, who has 2 of the Mets' 7 hits tonight. An infield hit in the 6th, and then he hit one over Pennington's head into left center in the 6th. Randall Delgado threw 106 pitches over 7 innings, allowed 2 runs and 7 hits, didn't walk a batter, struck out a career-high 9, gave up the 2 solo home runs to Wright and Satin in the 4th, and that's it. That's at a 2-0 lead, but Cody Ross hit a 3-run homer off Matt Harvey in the 6th. The Diamondbacks added 2 in the 7th. And now Kirk Gibson needs 5 more outs from his bullpen to finally get a win in this series. 1-2 to Young. Sellout crowd tonight, only the 2nd of the season for the Mets. The first one came on opening day. Tonight, fireworks night, and Matt Harvey pitching, drawing 41,000 plus.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So I guess the automatic question that we have to ask, given your history, is say this game goes extra innings.
Yes.
What's the latest they can shoot off the fireworks?
Well, in Atlanta, they shut them off at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, 4:15.
Do you think they would do that again?
I know.
Hill has that ball come up on him, stays with it, and Chavez stays on the bag. 2 out.
I see so many infielders today that just don't come in and charge is not the right word. Just move. They just sit there and don't move in and let the ball play them. I see it a lot. I know that, and thank goodness for them, the infields are so good today. It's hardly ever see a bad hop.
So 2 out and nobody on for Daniel Murphy. It's been an odd game for Murph. He's 1 for 3.
Well, when you got a routine ground ball, look at it, almost the ball came up, he had it, but if you're moving in, you can play a long hop or play come in and get the short hop. You always wanted you to get one or the other, not the in-between. He got the in-between there because he was flat-footed and it wasn't moving in.
Murphy smacked one off the wall in left center in the 4th and got thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. Then in the 6th, with the runner at first base, he had a pop up on the infield and didn't run. Aaron Hill caught the ball,
could have easily let it drop, and that would have been awfully embarrassing for Murphy. It would have been an easy double play.
He drives one in the air to deep right field. Forget that. That is way out of here. Daniel Murphy hits one into the bullpen. His 6th home run of the year. And that gets the Mets a little closer. It's now 5-3 Arizona. The Mets' 3rd solo home run of the night.
Maybe the longest home run I've seen Murph hit. Bomb.
And it wasn't even at Wrigley Field.
That's right.
So Murphy hits his 6th home run. Wright and Satin homered earlier, and now the Mets are down 2.
Well, 3rd solo home run. Fastball, middle in. Murph just nicely done on that.
Almost made it to the Shea Bridge. He couldn't have been surprised at left the yard, could he?
Oh, come on. What is he thinking?
Now David Wright, who homered back in the 4th inning. And David takes a big rip at a fastball. So that puts a little more energy into this sellout crowd, hoping the Mets can come from behind as they did on Monday night in the late innings against the Diamondbacks bullpen.
Makes it a little dice here for Heath Bell, who's probably going to close this game. Try to close it.
1-1 to Wright.
Well, there's no question what you're going to get from this guy, and he's going to throw you the hard cheddar.
Two and one. Marlon Byrd waiting on deck if Wright can keep the inning going. And David drives one to deep center field. Pollock racing back, deep right center near the wall. He can't get it. It hops over the fence for a ground rule double. And now the Mets will get the tying run to bat. 2nd extra base hit of the night for David Wright.
And I tell you what, I don't care who you are, how fast you are, no doubles, 2-run lead late. The ball cannot get over your head.
And also, Keith, I don't care who you are and how fast you throw. You can't just throw all fastballs to the Mets' best hitter.
36 extra base hits now for David Wright. Charles Nega, the pitching coach, out to talk to Hernandez, who's now worked an inning and 2/3 in this series and given up 4 extra base hits. A triple to Quintanilla and a double to Young on Monday night, and now the home run to Murphy and a double to Wright tonight.
He's an interesting pitcher in the sense that, yes, Gary, he throws 95 plus, but when he misses, he gets under the ball and it's up in the strike zone, but it's flat. It doesn't explode up in the strike zone. That's when he gives up those hits.
Well, Heath Bell getting up in the 8th inning and trying to get to work quickly. Meanwhile, Marlon Byrd, the tying run at the plate. Byrd 1 for 3 tonight, 12 home runs on the season. Bobby Parnell up in the Mets bullpen.
Not guarding lines.
0 away, ball 1.
Tying run at the plate. Well, you want to know, you can look for something middle in, try to lift.
And Byrd fouls it away.
They've done a nice job of keeping the ball away from Marlon in tonight's ball game. Delgado first, and that was a good pitch there by Hernandez.
With the home run that Murphy hit in this inning, Hernandez has now given up 7 home runs in 37 innings this year. That is a ton. Especially for a guy who throws 96. And Byrd fooled on the breaking ball. 1-2.
God, I have to ask for help.
Yeah, the home plate umpire, the rookie Quinn Walcott, called that.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did. He did. Yep.
Well, you have to sit dead red with Hernandez, and so Byrd badly fooled. And now he finds himself in a 1-2 hole. Will he throw him another breaking ball?
Don't hang it.
I know you want to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That's all the time of the game. Get a base hit here. Two strikes.
You can't with 2 strikes.
Inch closer.
He did come with another breaking ball. 2-2.
With 2 strikes on you now, you're just up there trying to keep the rally going.
Two and two to Marlon Byrd, tying run at the plate in the 8th inning. And a breaking ball popped up. Into shallow left. On comes Campana to call. And that retires the side. So the Mets settle for 1 run on the Daniel Murphy home run. Byrd thought he had a breaking ball to hit. Didn't. 5-3 Diamondbacks after 8. Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Josh Edgin threw just 6 pitches in a 1-2-3/8. A couple of left-hand hitters coming up in the 9th, so he stays in and throws a breaking ball strike to Eric Chavez. Chavez 2 for 4. He was the last man Matt Harvey faced. He had a double over Eric Young's head against the fence in left field to drive in a run in the 7th. Harvey's worst start of the year statistically. 5 runs, 9 hits, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts over 6 innings plus. Harvey's ERA went up from 2.00 to 2.27, which now puts him 5th in the National League. 9 strikeouts, 141 now for the year, leading the league. Good breaking ball by Edgin, 1-2.
Nice camera angle right there.
Miguel Montero, another left-hand batter on deck, and then Martin Prado. So the Mets are keeping Bobby Parnell loose in the bullpen. Rolled over to the right side, and Satin will take it himself. 1 out. So Edgins faced 4 batters and retired them all. 1 out and nobody on, and Miguel Montero coming up. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th, the Mets will have Satin, Neuenhuis, and Buck due up. The pitcher's spot is due up 4th in the inning. The Mets still have Andrew Brown, Juan Lagares, and Anthony Recker available, all right-hand hitters on the bench, with Heath Bell getting ready to face the Mets in the bottom of the 9th.
It's been a good night for Miguel Montero. He probably had the most important plate appearance of the night outside of the Cody Ross home run. A 1-out, 10-pitch walk against Harvey to get the Diamondbacks started in the 6th inning. 2 walks, a single, and a sacrifice fly for Montero tonight. Welcome to the post-midnight portion of our show.
Once again,
we'll take you into the next day. Stay with us.
First game of the series ended at 12:24 a.m. Last night was what? It was after 11:30 last night, right? That the game ended?
Yeah.
And now we're after midnight again.
I was taking the LIA home last night, and all of a sudden, exit 49 and 50 at construction. You had to go on the service road. Oh, it was a nightmare.
Line to right, and Montero's good night continues. He's now 2 for 2. First base runner allowed by Edgin. Let's check in with the studio for a preview of WB Mason post-game live. Chris Carlin and Bobby Ojeda. Terry Collins about to make a double switch. Andrew Brown's come on the field. He'll play right field. Bobby Parnell will come in to pitch to try and keep this a 2-run game in the top of the 9th inning. 5-3 Arizona. We'll be right back. Eighth, and the pitcher goes in the 4-hole. That's Bobby Parnell.
Well, usually don't see your closer come in this situation in the game, but Terry Collins just trying to have his best pitcher in the bullpen out there to keep this at a 2-run deficit.
Martin Prado, the batter, runner at first and 1 out, and Prado takes a strike on the outside. Prado 1 for 3 and a walk tonight. A.J. Pollock is the on-deck batter. Mets down 5-3 in the top of the 9th. Well, Matt Harvey went 6 innings plus. Scott Rice a third of an inning. David Ardsma 2/3. Josh Edgin an inning and a third. And it is odd to see Parnell in the game at this point, but part of that is the fact that other than Gonzalez Herman, who was just called up, the Mets may not have a whole lot of other options in this spot.
Well, you have a Lyon who pitched last night, Hawken who pitched last night. They're a little older, so you and I were talking in the break about, you're at a place where Torres is kind of your backup for pitchers starters who don't go deep into the game. And
Well, and also, you know, Sean Markham had an MRI done on his back, and even though they say everything's okay, I think Terry's going to hold Torres out until Saturday, just in case Markham can't go, because he would be the backup. So that shortens your bullpen a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's with the Mets right now carrying an extra reliever. 2-2 to Prado. By the way, gentlemen, happy 4th of July.
Oh, that's right.
Happy birthday, USA. 237.
And counting. Wow.
Slap to the right side. Satin can't get it, but Murphy does, and Parnell covers. Nicely done by Murphy, backing up 3-4-1 on the putout for the second out.
Well, that's big trouble if Satin doesn't get a glove on that ball. It's 1st and 3rd. Easily 1st and 3rd.
Nice play all around, though. Nice job by Satin to get a glove on it. Good play by Murph to get there, and Parnell covering all the way. This is why even a ball that looks like it's going to second base, you've got to cover. He went right away. Perfect by Bobby Parnell.
So 2 out, Montero at second, and A.J. Pollock bats for the first time. Pollock started the first 2 games of the series in center field and went 1 for 9. Came on as a pinch runner in the 7th and stayed in center. And he pops up the first one into shallow center field. Neuenhuis under it, and that retires the side. So Parnell comes in, gets 2 quick outs, and now the Mets will come up in the bottom of the 9th with Satin, Neuenhuis, and Buck trying to come from behind. By Sports Night tonight after the postgame.
Who's the captain? That's the good hot dog eating guy?
Joey Chestnut?
Chestnut, that's right.
Speaking of chestnuts, here's Heath Bell pitched the bottom of the 9th inning.
Well, you talked about it before, Gary. If someone didn't hear, Putz was put back in as soon as coming back from that injury, but Kirk Gibson now is going to go with Bell, who was pretty good when Putz's absence, 13 of 15 save opportunities.
We saw Bell in the 7th inning on Monday night. He retired the only 2 batters he faced, including Satin and Buck, both of whom will bat in this inning.
You've got to be, eyeball it here with Heath Bell. He tries to get you to chase pitches out of the strike zone.
Satin hit his first big league home run in the 4th inning. At the time, it gave the Mets a 2-0 lead. Mets have hit 3 home runs tonight, but trail 5-3. Josh went down looking his last time up. And takes inside from Bell, ball 1. Bell trying to save it for Randall Delgado, who went 7, allowed 2 runs, 7 hits, struck out 9, in line for his first win of the year.
Another baseball situation. Have to take a strike down 2 runs.
Yes. No question.
Satin, who takes a lot of pitches, shouldn't have any trouble doing that. Well schooled. Kirk Neuenhuis on deck. John Buck behind him. I mean, he's a Cal guy. Josh Satin.
Oh, that's right. He's a Golden Bear.
And Bell falls behind 3-0. Last year, when Bell had all those troubles with the Marlins, remember he had that particularly bad outing here early last season. He couldn't throw his breaking ball anywhere near the plate. Here, he's missing with fastballs. This is where Heath began his career, across the parking lot at Shea. He was on that Norfolk Express for years, could never get a foothold with the Mets. 3-1 to Satin, but found his footing when he got to San Diego, working first in front of Trevor Hoffman and then replacing Hoffman as the Padres closer. And nobody has saved more games the last 4 years than Bell. Now Satin with a 3-1 count can go a hitting, and he takes a strike. 3-2. Well, 3rd straight at bat that Satin has worked a 3-2 count. Got a home run in the 4th on a 3-2 pitch, and took a fastball for a call 3rd strike on 3-2 in the 7th. And he goes down swinging this time for the first out. So Bell comes back from 3-0 to strike out Satin. 1 down.
That had a lot of movement. Sinking fastball, Keith.
Yes, sir. That's a pitcher's pitch. Tough pitch. Wow.
So 1 out for Kirk Neuenhuis, who singled to center his last time up. 1 for 3 on the night. John Buck on deck. If anybody gets on, Andrew Brown is behind him. Neuenhuis going after the first pitch. Mets need a base runner anywhere they can get one to have a chance. "35-year-old Heath Bell." The only other guy I've ever seen dangle his arm like that was the great Rod Beck.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Used to hold it in that split finger grip. Huh.
Shooter.
Boy, he had some years, didn't he? Not only for the Giants, but then for the Cubbies.
Two and 1 to Neuenhuis. And Kirk fouls it away. 2-2. Neuenhuis getting the start in center field tonight, with the Mets facing a right-hander after a long run of lefties. They'll face all righties coming up tomorrow and then over the weekend in Milwaukee. So Terry will have to figure out what to do with Neuenhuis and Lagares, whether Lagares will play against the righties or if Neuenhuis will get some more time. 2-2 with 1 out, and Kirk pops it up. Montero out, Prado in to call, and Prado takes charge for the 2nd out. So the Mets are down to their final out of the night, and John Buck will try and keep them alive.
Sellout crowd here for the fireworks. Everybody has stuck around with the post-game show to follow, even at this late hour, 12:15 in the morning, and hoping for some last-out magic, which is what the Mets provided in the opening game of this series. 2 out and nobody on. And the guy who provided the game-winning hit on Monday night is standing on deck. That would be Andrew Brown.
Bell's got a pretty good fastball tonight, keeping it down.
Up the middle, and Buck has a base hit, and the Mets will get the tying run to bat. So Buck, who had been 3 for his last 41, and had hit the ball hard twice tonight with no luck, takes one up the middle against Heath Bell.
Fastball outside corner, up the middle.
Well, the last time we saw Andrew Brown, he was lining an 0-2 pitch into left center in the bottom of the 13th on Monday night to turn a loss into a win for the Mets. Now he's the tying run at the plate with 2 out in the bottom of the 9th. And he takes a high strike. 0-1.
Now this pitch is close. I think it's a strike, but Quinn Wolcott, the young umpire behind the plate, has had a good game.
If Brown can keep the Mets alive, Jordani Valdespin would bat next. Breaking ball from Bell, 1-1. The Diamondbacks 5 runs and 10 hits. The Mets 3 runs and 10 hits. All 3 Met runs have come on solo home runs. Wright, Satin, and Murphy. And Brown lays off the breaking ball, and it's 2-1.
High fastball hitter, Keith. We said it before his great at bat in the first game.
It was against Josh Colmenter. Threw him a high fastball on 0-2, and Brown hit it in the gap in left center. Now it's 2-1, and Brown swings through the high fastball, 2-2.
Well, he got his fastball count here, got the ball up, but you keep the ball away. Home run ties the ball game. You want to try to hit one out. Here's the fastball away. Try to pull it out of here.
Brown's got power to right center.
Yes,
though.
he does.
Mets are down to their final strike. 2-2. And Brown hits it out to right center, slicing away from Pollock, but he gets over there, and the ball game is over. So the Diamondbacks come from behind against Matt Harvey and get their first win in this series as Bell saves it for Randall Delgado, giving him his first win of the year. And despite 3 Met home runs, Arizona wins it 5-3.
Well, just the rare game. Harvey was not on top of his game today. He had 9 punch outs, so he had some great moments. But the long ball and his first 3-run home run that he's given up in his career by Cody Ross hurt him.
And the first starting pitcher getting a win for the Diamondbacks now, what, in 25 games?
June 5th.
And Delgado really showed me something. And the 3-run home run from Ross was the equalizer right there that got the Diamondbacks on the board. But the Diamondbacks showed me something tonight, beating Harvey.
Now Harvey gave up 5 runs for just the second time in his career, and he takes just his second loss of the season. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Hospitals for Special